Welcome back to the best podcast in the world, hosted today by me and Nicholas as always. But today we've got a new guest on, our friend Luca,
who claims he has the best ball knowledge out of all of us. Let me just say that.
I'll admit the bar is spectacularly low, but
high. The bar is
I am
spectacularly
definitely
high.
within our friend group.
self-proclaimed.
Very much self-proclaimed.
Self-proclaimed, but with confidence.
Also, where are the manners where you said me and Nicholas? Where's Nicholas and I?
Yeah.
To be fair, I made the same mistake
Shut
last
the fuck
episode.
up. Okay.
No way you're clowning people on their English. That's
100%.
No.
If you get the there wrong, then I'm sorry, you have a problem with me.
Okay,
Yeah.
If you get the
Bro, you
that's
acting like
fair,
you
that's
don't
fair.
get that wrong.
I
like,
don't. Consistently,
bro,
I get it
genuinely,
correct.
I think it's a 50-50 most.
No,
70-30, 70-30,
wow,
I'll give
the
you
files are
60-40, we'll call it there.
crazy.
We'll call
Okay,
it
okay.
60-40.
No, you're
halfway.
disrespectful.
Okay.
I give them fucking, give them a rundown.
No, Luca,
Yeah,
give him a
sorry.
rundown of who you are, who you
Yeah.
support.
So I'm Luca. I'm Argentine Scottish. I've got basically three footballing loves, which are Boca, as you can see,
River Plate.
Celtic and Barcelona, and so Nicholas has to be antagonistic and stick on the hat, which I understand.
Antagonistic.
I understand.
It's almost like I'm rebelling against both of you guys with the Man City and the River Plate.
That's literally you're just trying to be the antagonist.
I'll
That's
accept
your-
me
that's what
versus you
think.
guys this episode because the
Yeah,
problem is
that's
I'll
fine.
actually win.
Me and Fares will
yeah.
no doubt have disagreements.
No, that's just,
Oh yeah, for sure. That's coming for
Knowing
sure.
me and Fares, like it could get
Yeah,
choppy
of
quick.
course.
All right.
Of course.
The
Um,
episode rundown, my friend.
But the rundown today, we're gonna go through the latest results. We're gonna discuss them. We're gonna discuss some football news, and we're gonna go into a deep dive into Newcastle. What we would do if we were to rebuild, because they've got
Facts.
some FFP issues, and
Quite a few.
we're just gonna go through how we would tackle that issue.
Yes,
But
sir.
let's get straight to the football news, shall we? We've just finished watching Arsenal Liverpool.
No.
Well, not
Arsenal
Arsenal, Liverpool, but
Basically,
both of them.
basically, but no, Arsenal, Aston Villa, and Aston
Wow.
Villa won 2-0.
Wow.
Thoughts,
Right.
guys?
I am so happy. Me personally, right? If there's one team I wanted to win the league this year, and call me a fucking glory hunter, I'll take it on the chest. I wanted City to win.
Yeah,
100%.
Shut the fuck
I
up.
was so
I can't
happy.
lie, I was leaning towards Arsenal win, and now this is shaky. But I think it was the same thing what we were talking about. Is there was an expectation that this would come at some point, that there would be some mistake that they have,
Yeah.
and the fact that it's happened at home against Aston Villa is unfortunate. But it shows Aston Villa are serious. Like that. That's
No,
just
no,
is a
they-
Yeah,
good.
but it
football
is
team.
also unlucky for Arsenal because they do play 2 Champions League games in the span of like 7 days, and in between that they had to face Aston Villa, which is just a tough challenge. However, it's funny. I'm all for it.
I mean, that's not an excuse, though. I don't think, like, to win the Prem, you have to.
Oh,
you have to do
100%.
that.
100%.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Like, that's not an excuse. Like, everyone's got to deal with that.
I could see City dropping points, though. I really don't. Like, I don't
Against
think it's
who?
over.
They don't have any more.
No, but I
Spurs away.
I think City have a draw in them. I think City
Spurs
have
at
a draw
home.
in them, and
No,
I think
Spurs
They
away.
drew against Spurs away this season, I'm pretty
No,
sure.
they drew at home. They have to go away to Spurs.
and that's historically also City haven't done particularly well.
No, they
That's
struggle
true.
against Spurs.
So
That's true.
I
But
think
but last time they went away to Spurs, they broke their streak of not scoring or winning away at Spurs
Yeah.
in the FA Cup earlier this season.
yeah, they're
So, and Spurs have been struggling recently.
Yes.
Yeah,
4-0
oh,
against
bro.
Newcastle.
They've been
Wow.
we don't need to
Have
rebuild,
you guys-
bro.
you guys see Van
We
de
should've
Ven?
like just played the same team as last week,
bro,
bro. Like,
Van de Ven was on
Yeah,
skates, bro.
that's because Isaac is like that.
not a
guy.
good look.
No, I
He's
know.
unbelievable.
But he got dropped by everyone to the point where at the end, like, I think Isaac's in on goal and, like, he's about to finish, right? And you can see Van de Ven, he should be putting in a slide tackle to stop the shot, but he was scared of getting sent again. So he doesn't put in the slide tackle, they score the
hesitates,
4-0. All I'm saying is, right, Fabian Schär got me incredible points in FPL.
Bro, you cooked with Schär. Like,
Very
he is-
much.
He is, bro. His goal scoring has been
The thing
Yeah.
is, Scher's goal threats is
like
like
legit. He's got
No,
also a strike.
yeah,
he is a
he has a
striker.
crazy left
Oh
foot on
my
him,
Yeah,
bro.
he just shoots, bro.
Those gray hairs, bro, they do things
Bro.
to people.
You just get
Some-
plus 10 shot power.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
real. No, but who's your favorite to win the Premier League then? We can all agree it's City then.
City.
City's obviously the favorite.
But
I
then
think
after
City,
that?
especially after today. But I think
After City, I'd still have Liverpool.
So the current standings are City with 73 and then both Arsenal and
71.
Liverpool on 71.
Yeah.
That's
You
2
can't
points to
give,
make
you
up.
can't give City 2 points in the title
No.
race.
But
No,
the thing
2
is, I
points
think
ahead is
City
ridiculous.
prefer to chase. They prefer the chase.
They've done it all.
Not this late. I think I would agree if it was like 5-6 games earlier
Yeah,
because they
that's
like
true.
being that team that's putting on pressure. But I
Yeah.
think this late in the season, it's now about like you've got to take every
Yeah,
advantage.
now is
but-
when you gotta
No,
take
but
the
Yeah,
lead.
like-
for Arsenal, Liverpool as well, maybe more Arsenal though, for them to be in the chase, for them is definitely better than them being top. That's for sure.
You think
No.
No, yeah,
from a
Arsenal
mentality
cannot
wise.
handle being top. They can't handle it.
Bro, they need to take what they can get. That Arsenal team needs to take what they can
yeah,
get.
but they can't handle it. On top, they cannot
No,
handle it. bro.
I disagree because I think it's very difficult to chase something and to keep on fighting when there's no guarantee. Like
Exactly.
you're now
Yeah, of
playing
course.
hoping on City to have
Yeah.
a result, and
Yeah.
it's so like it's
demotivating.
demotivating when like you keep on waiting. Like even if they
Yeah,
win the
that's
first
true.
two, like the next two games, and City then go and win those next two games, at some point Arsenal are going to be like City are just never going to lose, and then you drop points because
Yeah.
you're like so waiting on someone else's
That's
mistake.
true. That's true.
So
that's true.
I actually think Arsenal need to be in a position where it's in their own hands. 'Cause I think if they're chasing, they're
Yeah.
a type of team that will easily get demotivated and like be out of the title race with
Yeah.
a game or two to play.
Yeah.
I think
I'm-
Liverpool don't
yeah.
have that as much, and I think
No,
Klopp
no,
doesn't
no.
have that as much,
No.
which is
No.
why I think they're
They
the
don't
second
feel the
favorite.
pressure. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
No,
they
no,
don't feel the
yeah.
pressure like that.
Unless the Klopp leaving puts a pressure on them
No,
because they're
it
like
does,
we
for
want to
sure.
reward
Yeah,
Klopp
yeah,
for
yeah,
all
yeah.
the time at the club.
Well, they're not doing a
100%.
good job in the past 5 days.
Exactly, they can't handle it, bro. Like with
No, they're
Mane
doing a horror
gone,
job. They're doing a horror job.
Mane gone, Hendo gone. No, Hendo gone, Milner gone.
Yeah.
That's a lot of.
First of all, Hendo gone is an addition. I don't want to hear it.
No,
Hendo
no, but,
gone.
like,
is-
Can I
in
just
terms of
say?
experience,
Can I just
yo.
say genuinely, Matip has been a massive miss for them
Yeah,
this
for
season.
sure, for sure.
Like the fact that they haven't had
Konsa,
it,
like
bro.
Konsa mistaking against
You can't
United,
have you
like,
can't have those mistakes, especially
That's
in
a
the
Gerrard
title race, man.
mistake,
like
Yeah.
title games are decided on like fine margins, and
Yeah.
that's when you need veterans.
Yeah.
On like
Yeah.
on super
Exactly.
big games, you need
Yeah.
people that are just like too experienced to make that mistake.
Yeah.
And like what Liverpool have done with the youth that they've had, like bro, they've just brought out a right back centre back
Yeah.
duo like in
Out
Bradley
of
and Kwanzaa.
nowhere.
That
Out
is
of
like
nowhere.
like Kwanzaa
It's
we
too-
saw
yeah.
featured a bit, but it was like never like you would not expect them to be starting significant games in a title run.
No.
And they're
Ahead
still
of
there
Konate,
despite
yeah,
that.
because Konate's just fit.
Yeah, but I don't
Joe
know how fit
Gomez,
he is.
but
Like he's a bit all
yeah,
over.
Joe
Like I
Gomez
think he's
had-
also been struggling for fitness. Like it's
Yeah.
up in and out the whole time. Like you're not at that level.
You think they should sign a new centre back this summer?
Yeah.
Because really, okay, think about it,
Matip
right?
is dipping.
Klopp
Matip is
leaves.
dipping.
Yes.
Matip
Yeah.
is dipping.
But I think there's a broader. You need to I think you have to accept that you're gonna end up phasing out this level of like the
Yeah.
Robertson, Van
Yeah.
Dijk, Salah. Like it's gonna be the end of that era, and you have to build towards an era where it's sort of a Darwin and if Trent, unless Trent does some weird Real thing, but like Trent
could,
and
bro.
Darwin, it's
He
possible.
could.
But you build towards a future with the younger
Yeah.
players, where Trent maybe moves into a centre mid role to allow Bradley to play, and like with the young lads like Gomez and Quanta. But I think for Liverpool signing, if they sign a very good centre back right now and like splash out, I don't think how much longer are they going to be able to? Should I put this closer?
a little bit.
How much longer are they going to be able to compete with like those remaining starters? I think they're getting older, and I think you should build towards a future.
The question
rather than
is,
go for
how
it.
many of those experienced starters are still going to be there next season? Because you look at Van Dijk and you think, you know what, if there's any time to leave Liverpool, it's this summer.
Yeah.
Me personally.
The same with Salah.
Yeah.
as well. But
Yeah, yeah,
apparently
yeah.
there's rumors
I
that
think
Salah's
he's going
already
Saudi.
agreed on a contract
Yeah,
in
I think
Saudi.
he's going Saudi.
Yeah,
There's
I
rumours.
really
I
wouldn't be
can definitely
surprised.
see that.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
But I think it all depends on who the manager is going to be, because it's not just the manager that's leaving; it's the manager, the entire staff.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
board is also getting an
Yeah.
overhaul.
But I think it's a good time then for Salah and Van Dijk to leave
Yes,
and to
for
sort
sure.
of start afresh.
Yeah.
But I understand.
But where
also-
do they go? Van Dijk.
Salah,
We know.
Salah
but,
Saudi. Yeah, Van
but
Dijk.
Van Dijk
Saudi
still
as
has
well.
3 years left on the top level.
Yeah.
2 years. 2 years.
I
At the
re-
top level.
He's got 2 seasons where he can still be one of the
Yeah, I
like
reckon he'll
a
stay.
world class centre.
I reckon he'll stay there.
He will stay.
He'll stay to sort of give them a floor that's
Yeah.
not too low when they're rebuilding.
Yeah,
But the
I think so
problem
as well.
is,
You know?
then he's like a scapegoat for the fans. It's like they'll throw their hate. Like, okay, for
Yeah,
example,
but he doesn't
Piqué, we
care.
needed him
Yeah.
for the rebuild.
Yeah.
But towards the end of Piqué's time in Barcelona, all he got was just hate.
He also wasn't that good towards
because
the
he
end of
lacked the
Barcelona.
pace in
I
one-on-one
understand.
duels,
Yeah,
bro.
no,
Honestly,
of
he
course,
was
of course, of
phenomenal.
course. No, it was.
He
And also
good.
as a player with experience and
Exactly,
a mentor and a
you
ball
need
player.
that.
But I agree that having Van Dijk there could be complicated because like they will just chuck shit at him.
for sure, bro.
Yeah.
But
But
to be fair,
actually, I don't know if he can handle that, because he gets rattled pretty easily, bro. against United, when we went there
Yeah.
and drew 0-0, it was like, oh, only one team was trying to win today, but you guys haven't beat us since. So like, what are you waffling about, bro?
Their biggest accomplishment this season is not losing to Liverpool. At
They
all.
haven't beat. We literally took
that's
the Premier
that's-
League title and the FA Cup away from them, both of them.
Both
of them.
didn't
But
take
that's
the
because
Premier
They
League
dropped
title.
listen,
4 points against us. I don't think they dropped
it's
any more
United
points.
banter years. Like it really is. Like this is like the Arsenal banter years, but now we have to go through it with
They're so
United.
pathetic,
like they're
bro.
actually
How?
they're just an insignificant football club. You
understand?
know,
we
like
kicked them out the title race.
Exactly.
His biggest claim is
That's your
we took
achievement.
4 points from them.
Yeah, but
wow.
that's exactly. But that's the highlight of your whole season.
No, no.
That
It
says
is.
that says
It is.
enough
No,
about the
the
way
4-3.
United
The 4-3 is the
'Cause you know what's
4-3.
the thing is-
Exactly. Your point.
That was FA Cup. That was FA Cup.
Bro, you're
Bro.
Manchester United. You should be
They
competing
were
for
talking about-
trophies, not celebrating.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Four,
not anymore.
we
not
took
anymore.
4 points off of them.
No,
you got
we
2
and
points.
the FA Cup.
Yeah, fuck, bro.
Well,
Who
you're gonna
cares about
disrespect the FA Cup.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
you're
I'm
tripping.
sorry. I'm
You're
sorry.
tripping. You're
FA Cup
tripping.
used to
You're
have way
tripping.
more significance than it does now.
It's the league's harder now.
Yeah, and that's why they want to focus on the league. They don't give a fuck about that.
Everyone cares about the FA Cup. But what are you talking about? No, bro. The FA Cup is a very
This
well
is just
respected
because
trophy.
you guys
bro.
not because that's the only trophy you guys are capable of winning this year. That's the only
No,
reason you're saying
probably
that.
not gonna win
if
it,
you
but
guys
it is
weren't
a
in
well-
it and Liverpool was in it, you'd be calling it a bums trophy
No,
as well.
I wouldn't, bro.
And the best part
I
is
wouldn't.
you guys
You would
are getting
think
knocked
about
out in
it.
the semis.
You would think
no.
about if you guys were like in a top 4, like if you guys were like in the top 4 and like out of the FA Cup, you would be like, how? Oh, the FA Cup really doesn't matter. Like this is insignificant. We're
Yeah.
pushing for
It-
the league.
no, but
it's because of the state of your club right now that you have to put value on the FA Cup.
No, but
Is
it
that
is
not?
a good
I don't think that's
no,
a.
but
It is.
I think that's
completely
a
correct.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
but
I
It's
know.
completely correct.
It's still a very good trophy to win.
It is.
Of
It's
course.
more important than a Carabao Cup.
It's not
Much
exactly.
more,
Exactly.
much
There are
more,
levels.
much
There
I
are
was
levels.
trolling an Arsenal fan today saying like you guys don't win anything, blah blah. He whipped out the Community Shield, bro.
Community Shield. is-
One game.
That's a low blow.
One
That's a
game.
low
Nah,
blow.
Community Shield. Yeah,
That's a low one. That's a low
We
level
won the
to steal.
Community Shield against City. Come on now, you have problems mentally, bro.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, let's move on. Let's move on.
All right. Well, let's get to the next bit of football. Well, yeah. So we've discussed the Liverpool one.
We actually didn't at all. We just
No,
started
no,
rambling.
Let's go
about
back on
other
it.
shit.
Let's go
Yeah,
back
we
onto the
didn't.
topic.
Liverpool missed 100,000 chances.
Yeah.
And lost. them-
Have you
lost
seen the
balance.
game? Did
Yeah.
you watch it? I only watched about the last 30 minutes. I was hate watching because I saw that they were 1-0 down. Bro, did you see the Curtis Jones one through on goal?
Yeah.
I just turned it on. I saw him through on
Oh, but
goal.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
fuck, no, I've jinxed it again.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
he fucking sends it into row Z, one-on-one with the keeper. I was like,
But I
this-
think it's just one of those days that it's just nothing's going in. But I feel like
Yeah, but-
Liverpool have that more often.
yeah, but
You can't
don't-
have that. You
No, no,
can't
no.
have
That's
that.
true. That's very true, by the way, because against United, both times
Yeah.
they were through on 5v2.
No. They
Time and time
they create
again.
Lots of they create lots of opportunities and
they
lack
just
composure
can't
and
finish
finishing.
it. Yeah. They
Also-
can't do it.
Liverpool lost 3-0 at home
Atalanta.
to Atalanta.
I think they decided they don't give a fuck about the
What?
No,
Did you see
I
the
can
starting
back
11
that.
for
I
that
can
team?
back that.
Obviously
I
they
can
played.
back
No,
that.
of course
bro.
they played a good 11. But I think there's a certain extent to which like
Yeah.
if you're already down 2-0 for example and you start thinking about like okay what are we going to prioritize if it's Champions League I'm telling you they don't lose 3-0 to Atalanta.
If you're a small club,
Nah,
you have that
facts.
mentality. You're Liverpool, bro. You're competing on all fronts.
Of
People
course.
are talking about treble, bro.
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
If you want to compete for the treble, you gotta, bro. You're not even in the Champions
no
League.
okay.
You
I
gotta-
understand, I
you- bro,
understand.
you're
And you also
favourites to win the Europa
but I think
League.
you also undermine you go because it is Europa League. You sort of you underthink it in a way. Like you sort of expect that like oh we're putting out a good starting 11. This is a game we should win.
Yeah.
You know. Or
No,
and
but
then
they
you-
didn't. They didn't put out a good starting 11.
Yeah, they
It wasn't
did.
bad.
No,
it wasn't
but
Yeah,
bad.
they
Salah was
did.
on the bench.
Salah wasn't benched.
He started on the bench.
Are you sure?
Yes, he came on at halftime. It was
Oh,
not a
fair
good-
enough.
it was
Yeah,
not a
no,
good
it's
not
11.
fair. I
obviously-
watched the last
it's not
bit of
full
the
strength.
game.
It's
Yeah.
not full strength, but it's like it's not. They didn't put out like a.
The
bunch.
thing is,
Yeah.
They were still
First
playing,
of all,
like, considering their injuries. they still
Liverpool
played a fairly
youngsters
decent game.
have already
fair.
proven that they can win games. That's already a no-brainer, bro.
But
It's winning against
different in
Chelsea.
Europe. It's
No.
different in Europe. I'm telling you, it's different in Europe.
Look,
You're
regardless, a manager's never going to sit there in the changing room and tell his players that it's okay to lose this game.
No, of
You're
course
never
not.
going
Of
to
course
do
not.
that. So you're
No,
going
no.
into that game with the mentality, boys, we're playing at home. You need to win at home.
You need to win out.
You need to win at
Yeah,
home.
3-0 at home is
3-0
Yeah.
at home.
And it should have been more.
No,
Bro,
there's,
yeah.
there's no denying that it's a very poor result. Like it's a very poor
It should
result.
like 3-0 is kind of gracious for Liverpool. I mean, Koopmeiners and I forgot who else had point blank chances as well that they missed.
Yeah.
Like 3-0 is like they kind of got lucky to lose 3-0.
What do you think of De Ketelaere? You think he should?
But he can't handle AC Milan. Like I think Atalanta, he's very good over there, but he cannot handle AC Milan. He can't handle
But
the
he's
pressure.
on loan though.
But it's also
Yeah. I don't think he can handle the pressure. He needs to be like the main guy, you know?
Yeah. It's also like stylistically, there's some players that are designed to be like the focal point of a team.
Yeah.
Like for example, Dybala had this a lot. Like Dybala, you have to be like the man in that attack where he's allowed to also take some deep, like where he's not really putting as much pressure.
Yeah.
He's not, and the ball is like every time on Dybala's left foot, they're trying to find him. They're trying to get him half chances.
Yeah.
They're trying to get him the ball in space.
Yeah.
And I think like the Ketelaere is similar, where it's like if you're consistently feeding him and you're trying to bounce off him and stuff, it can be good. But then it's like, hey, can you mold yourself to fit in this system?
And
then he's like, not really. Like I'm really good at what I do, but I'm not super adaptable.
Yeah.
But that also happens with like athletes are more adaptable. That's why there's been a whole motion like towards more athletic players in football, because they can just fit your system.
That's true.
Because it's not as much about just like technique and half space turns and things like that both of those players have. That's
I
what
don't like that though. I'm not a big fan of that football's going in that direction.
But you can't.
Brother,
but you can't do anything
I'm
about
a
it.
10, bro. I can't.
I'm not a big fan
We become
of that.
redundant, you know.
No, but that's Pep's fault in my opinion.
But it's but think about it,
Pep's
right?
fault.
It has been like, I mean, I guess the number 10, it's kind of disappeared, but to an extent they've revived like the idea of like now having 2 10s, because now you in a team you can play with 2 10s and that works perfectly for modern football. If you have 2 players that can do that turn properly, that's the new system.
But
of
your
football.
10s are athletes. Your 10s have to be ball carriers.
Your
They
10
have to
can be Gavi.
Yeah, but
10 can
Gavi is still an athlete. Gavi roams great. Like he's quick, he's athletic, he's good at covering space. Like he's good at defending.
Would
in
you say Phil
transition.
Foden's an athlete?
No,
to that level then, because he does play
but
the
he
same
also,
role.
but he doesn't also play like a traditional 10 role. Like he's still expected to press defensively. He's still expected to carry out the task of the team. And obviously he gets some leeway because it's Phil Foden. So you're like, you let him cook because it's Phil Foden. But he's still expected to carry out all these things that an old school 10 wouldn't have been. Like if you put Phil Foden in like the Boca Junior teams that Riquelme was playing at, they're just like giving him the ball and like he's not running back on defense, he's not doing it, like he's just the absolute playmaker for everything. Now it's like fit into the system.
But that just shows that compared to modern football, like
it depends
there's
on the
levels
team,
to it.
It depends on the team. Not every team, not even every top team plays like that. And like
no,
I feel like
but
they're
the
like,
best teams in the world do.
No, because Real Madrid, I don't think do that. They let their players kind of just.
Yeah, but that's just
coach. That's Ancelotti's a player coach rather than a tactical.
It's a
no, but that's what I mean.
Player coach.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like not every team.
No, the Real Madrid
is rigid like that.
But that's my problem with Ten Hag, for example, because like Ten Hag, he wants to make his own style of play. Ten Hag doesn't follow that tradition these days of like having a 4-man's midfield, or like, you know what I mean by the concept of getting a 4-man's midfield, bro. Ten Hag's ball looks genuinely. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be the first person to say it on here. I have no idea what direction he's going in.
Bro, no,
I've been saying this all season.
I don't like what is the play style?
I've watched them and I've watched them and I'm like, I don't know what you guys are trying to be, and that is what worries me more than having bad results, is that I don't see a philosophy. And I understand that he's a pragmatic coach, and so like you just give him stuff, and like he's a pragmatist more than he is a fundamentalist. Like he wants to just use what I have to get a good result. But I think that there's a certain extent where like the club needs a direction, and maybe then Ten Hag isn't. If he's so pragmatic, maybe he's like not for a club that needs a direction, that needs like a philosophy in the way that United are lacking right now. Because it's not coming from the board, it's not coming from like it has to come from a manager.
No, I understand what you're saying, right? But the way that he wants to play, the players simply cannot play. They're just incapable.
They can. I just think they don't want to.
No, they can't.
Like with Rashford, you can, with Rashford, you can get him to work.
It's not even about Rashford. I'm talking about the back line, bro. Luca has been injured most of the season. You're looking at a back line of Lindelof and Evans half of the time, and you're going to try and play possession, try and build up through high pressing teams with them too. You haven't even got a left back. You have to be pragmatic.
I understand.
Otherwise, you're going to be in a relegation zone if you're going to try and play the way that he actually wants to play. Like, it's that big of a crisis.
Sure, I understand, I understand that. But then I think, like, there is a certain extent to which when you're just like consistently being pragmatic, but the results aren't even necessarily being there.
Yeah, but it's,
that you're
yeah.
actually kind of shooting yourself in your own foot. Because then you have to just
you are
just bring in the players that are like, obviously I understand like with the injury crisis that's some stuff that you just can't deal with.
Yeah.
But if you just try and implement at least some elements of a style, I'm not telling you have to do it perfectly.
I think we are.
But I think
to some
it
extent.
varies. It varies so much.
Yeah,
It varies so greatly that
yeah.
it's like I don't see a consistent direction that the football club's going in, and that's what would worry me as a United fan.
For sure. But I think what's happening right now is we're taking this pragmatic approach to try and get results because the manager doesn't believe that we'll get results using his style of play.
Yeah.
And we're kind of just thugging it out to the end of the season, see what we can get with what we have.
Yeah, but you're
and
thugging
then
it out.
Start off with the new injured players back, buy players that fit the system more, and then try again. Because if you see the way we're playing in preseason, that was the plan for this season.
Bro.
Compare that to what we're playing now.
But you can't, like,
it's night and
preseason
day.
is something else, bro. Like, you can't, like, bro, preseason is something, like, Chelsea were playing phenomenal football and doing well during preseason.
Yeah, but that's the plan.
Cooking, bro.
That's the plan
but
for the
your,
season.
Your
That's how
plan
you
might
want to
work
play.
in a friendly game, but it won't work in an actual Premier League game, bro. It's different. There's
But you
different,
need
like,
to
standards.
practice your plan.
100%.
When are you going to practice it? In preseason. You're practicing your plan for the season.
Yeah, I know, but it's a different, like, your plan during preseason might be too complicated to execute in the Premier League. So,
yeah,
like,
but that's why you just keep drilling it until it's not complicated anymore.
and that's why I'm saying the players don't want to get it drilled in. Like, Rashford
they're
doesn't
not
want
able
to switch.
to.
If Rashford really wanted to succeed, respectfully, Rashford would change his game so much. Except he doesn't want to.
No,
He
but
doesn't want to.
He's just lacking the confidence. He's a very confidence
bro.
player. 'Cause when he's got
100%.
the
It's also
confidence,
very frustrating if you're trying to change and work at something, but you see that the team around you is inferior. There's a level of frustration that I can imagine from Rashford, which is like, I'm nearing the prime of my career. I think I'm one of the top talents in this country, if not in the world. On my day, I'm unplayable.
I don't think he thinks that, though.
I think Rashford can think that.
no,
and
I think he does think that.
I think
does,
you think that,
yeah.
and I think that you're saying like I'm like in my prime years, and like I'm playing with like a fucking Johnny Evans backline, and then that's like there's a certain level of frustration that's like, well, I'm not gonna then like we're going to be a mid team or like a fairly like above average, but
That
for
wasn't
United
the
standards,
expectation at the start, though.
yeah, but I understand that, but I think there's also like it will take time to implement, and by the time it would have taken to implement, Rashford, I think also you understand that there's the potential for the season is not to be title contenders, is not to be. So what's the incentive for Rashford to buy in? Like, what has Ten Hag shown that's going to get Rashford to buy in? I think.
Well,
that,
He's turned his career
I don't
around.
think Ten Hag needs to show something for Rashford to start performing or to start moving.
I agree, but I think that in this we have a superstar culture now in football, and that's in throughout top sports. We have a superstar culture. Superstars get pampered, and so people that have been superstars from a young age also, like, I'm not trying to question Rashford's character, be like, oh, he doesn't believe in the coach, he doesn't buy in, but there's subconscious elements that are like, you're less likely to buy in if you don't believe in what the coach is saying.
Yeah.
And if Ten Hag hasn't shown that he can like really turn this United side into a world beater, even though his conditions have been shit, there's an element to which some of the players might lose faith in him and not be so willing to buy in. Garnacho goes and likes tweets about him getting subbed off.
Yeah.
Yesterday, he likes the goals
He
registry.
unliked it, though.
Yeah, of course he
unliked it.
unliked it because he's going to get flamed on social
Bro,
media.
but why do
But
you
I'm
like it
saying
in the first
there's
place?
a general frustration of United players with Ten Hag.
I understand that as well, though. I do understand the frustration. But
Of course,
it's
but
just,
if you're losing the locker room, you're never going to be able to make a functioning 11. So
100%.
you need to have respect from the players. You need to either demand it or show that you deserve it.
yeah.
And if you're not
But he's
doing,
tried demanding, like, he's sent
but
Cristiano
he's done
Ronaldo and Sancho out of the club.
and I think it's worked more to undermine him than it has, because like if you think about it, it's also this is not a guy who's been a world beater. Like, he had a very good Ajax run, but he doesn't come from one of the top clubs. Like, if Carlo Ancelotti comes in at United, for example, Rashford,
He would cook so
respectfully,
heavily,
Rashford is
yeah.
going to play better than he does under Ten Hag because Ancelotti gets the
No,
most out of his
no,
players
that's not
and
true.
respects
That's
him.
not true.
No,
That's
I
not true.
100. I really
No,
fundamentally
no,
believe.
no.
I really believe.
No,
That
Rashford
Rashford
had
would
his
play better
best-
under Ancelotti. I
No
agree.
way.
100%.
Rashford had his best ever season in his career under Ten Hag.
This is true.
Mourinho
This is
couldn't get him.
But this doesn't
Oli
mean that he
couldn't
doesn't
get
have a
him.
higher ceiling that he can still reach. Maybe I'm overrating Rashford's ceiling. I think this guy could be
No,
unbelievable
but last
in the right
season,
context.
the way he played last season, that's his ceiling.
No, I think his ceiling's higher than that.
I think
What more can he do than what
we'll
he
put
did
it up
last
for
season?
more than one season. Put it up
Yeah,
consistently.
consistently. That's his issue.
Exactly.
He's
Exactly.
a confidence player. When he's not got the confidence, he's worse than Martial. But when he's got the confidence, he's one of the best in the world.
Isn't that my whole point with Ancelotti instills confidence in his
But
players?
Ten Hag
Yeah.
did too.
Well, but he clearly hasn't been.
But he
He
doesn't.
clearly
though.
hasn't been recently.
Anthony plays like an insecure bowler. Even Fernandes these days, bro. I'm sorry. Where's the look?
Yeah.
To an extent, he's still
To be fair,
creative as fuck.
he still had
but
very-
you understand the
yeah.
dinks.
No, no.
Like
But
you've
he
seen the
scored- he
Manchester
scored from- he
derby
scored
where he
from
would
basically
give
that.
crazy dinks out of nowhere, bro.
Yeah.
He doesn't do that shit anymore.
Well, he
or when
did
he
that
does,
last week.
he fails it, bro. He fails it week in, week out.
Yeah,
I
but
will say
he did it
on
against
Bruno,
Liverpool.
on
the
Bruno,
other day.
he is one of the most irrational confidence guys I've seen, which is so crucial to have in a United squad that misses it. His goal
shouldn't be
against Liverpool
captain,
when he
yeah.
pings it from
Yeah.
halfway is
Yeah.
ridiculous. How do you even?
It makes no sense.
How do you even think of doing that first
no
touch? Is silly, but that's the type of character that's needed. But I think
But not as a captain though.
Exactly.
Yes.
Not
As a
as a
second
captain.
to captain.
Not
Agree.
even. Not
But the thing
even,
is, at
not
this
even.
point, who's gonna
But
take
you
it
have
off
no
him?
you have no one.
That's
You have
the issue.
there's
It's not him being captain as the
It's
issue.
the coach.
There's no one else.
It's the coach. At the end
he
of the
should
day,
be captain. Ten Hag should be captain.
no. But if you have someone like Ancelotti at Man United, respectfully, Bruno will bend over for him. He will. He
Yeah,
will.
but I think
Genuinely,
they do-
if you guys made like a full charge, right, and threw bags of
I
money.
agree with your point, but the way you make the statement is so mental.
Listen. If you guys threw bags at Ancelotti, right, and in some world you're not going to convince him to come.
never.
He's never
I
coming.
don't- I don't-
However,
I
he would
wouldn't
not
want
join
him,
your-
though.
you would, but you should want him because the
No.
thing is, it's what he brings. Like Ten Hag wants to demand respect. He doesn't have the credentials to demand the respect that Ancelotti would get.
Yes.
Ancelotti would bring players. He would, first of all, he would turn Garnacho into one of the greatest swingers in the world. He would turn Rashford's career around. He would do. I mean, I don't even know what he would do with Højlund.
He literally did that, Ten Hag. He's literally done that.
But he hasn't because look at Rashford now.
Yeah, but he's always been hot and cold. But
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah,
he's made him hot. Like he's done it.
well, he's made him hot, but now he's also made him cold, right? But that's to what extent
No,
is that
but
just
I don't
Rashford
even
nature?
think-
Maybe
yeah,
that's
but
just maybe that's
it
just
is his
who-
nature.
Maybe that's just who Rashford is as a player.
It
we have
is.
to accept that.
No,
and
for
that's
sure.
fine.
Like, as a person, I think like
I don't
mentally.
think you can accept that though. I think you should get rid of it.
No,
I think it's just toxicity.
I've been saying get rid of him for a while. I think he's a bit of a diva sometimes.
Yeah.
He doesn't really like
Yeah, but he's a-
Garnacho.
but-
like when we lose the ball, Garnacho's he's running to get that ball back.
But that's also age. Rashford at 19 was also running back to get the ball.
Yeah.
That there's a
True.
hunger.
Yeah.
There's a hunger that comes from having a point to prove and being young that you naturally lose in your
but
mid 20s.
I think Garnacho's proven his point.
more than Rashford.
I
this
agree.
season.
Yeah,
For
fair,
sure.
but
For
it's still,
sure.
but it's still Rashford. Like in the
Yeah,
like, there's a reason he doesn't take Rashford.
No,
off
but
halftime,
you look at
know?
it, right?
Yeah.
You look at Rashford when like United are doing like a deep block, right? And Rashford squeezes in.
He's not,
running,
like,
you can jog around Rashford,
Yeah.
and he won't.
No,
Like
but
he
that's
won't
a
even stretch a
problem.
leg out.
Yeah.
Like Grealish will fucking run his socks off. Even he's Grealish. Like Grealish ain't at the same level as Rashford for me, but he's
I agree, I
he's an
agree.
established player, and he's still running his socks off to get to the ball. Whereas Rashford, if I see Rashford pressing, I'm celebrating because it's such a rare occasion.
He did it yesterday, but that's because he lost the ball and he sprinted the whole length of the pitch.
Yeah.
But
But
genuinely,
then also let go of the player in the box. Like he didn't like.
yeah,
Against
he
Liverpool.
didn't do well. He ran back, tried to track back,
But
but
he's not.
sometimes when like attackers try their best to win the ball back because they've lost it, they end up causing more problem because it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. You cause like uncomfortable like situations
they
in
don't
your
know what to
defense.
do as well, yeah.
Or often you'll give away a penalty with like a poorly timed challenge.
Exactly.
That like it's like the typical striker's challenge in the box where it's just like that's just clumsy.
Dembele.
Yeah.
Dembele.
Exactly. Point proven.
That was fun, yeah. Watching Dembele give away a penalty.
I don't. Was it Dembele that gave?
Yeah, it was definitely Dembele.
What, a penalty against who? Against Barca.
Brother.
What?
Was there a pen?
Do you
There's a
remember
fairly
what happened in
significant penalty that
2022?
Dembele gave away that led to the downfall of your nation.
That's not a pen, though. That's not a
Oh,
pen.
that's why you didn't
No,
think
no,
of
no.
it.
because
That's why you
I
didn't
don't
think of
even
it.
count it as a pen in my head.
See, yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm
That's
not
the
even
thing.
mad at
Sometimes
Dembele.
he'll just ignore some things
Yeah,
you say
yeah,
because
yeah,
he just
yeah.
doesn't acknowledge it as an actual penalty.
No, because
Oh.
it's not.
So speaking of penalties,
What?
do we want to mention the Arsenal Bayern thing? Because we talked about it before the
Yeah,
podcast and decided to keep
yeah.
our mouths shut.
Yeah, but let's save that for later. Before. Right. Well, moving on.
Is that gonna be in the podcast?
Nope, it's gonna get cut straight out.
Moving on. Leverkusen have won the league.
Congratulations.
They've won the league 5-0 at home against Bremen.
I hope they relegate next season.
Okay, That's a bit uncalled for.
Fuck Xabi Alonso.
But yeah, we were discussing this a little bit, but even up until like 3 weeks ago, you were certain that Bayern would still win it.
No.
were
Let's go back to the
certain.
episode. I probably whipped out maybe a 67% chance.
I think it was 70 or 80.
Maybe 70. I'll give you 75
max. You were
max.
saying your reasoning was that first of all, Bayern a machine, right?
Yeah.
And I was saying
Business end of the
this is
season.
not the same Bayern. I kept saying this is not the same Bayern. And then the second thing you were saying is that Leverkusen were just gonna fumble at some point, which just didn't happen.
Yeah, but they should have.
They're invincible.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They are doing invincibles.
Yeah, they're literally doing
But
that.
if you look at it, right, the title winning games and the way people define title winning games is those games that you win in the last seconds, or you'll be down 1-0 and you'll have 6 minutes to go and you'll win the game.
Yeah, they kept doing that.
They did that for 6 games in a row. My prediction could have been correct, right? Had they dropped more points, as they would have. But I'm sorry, if you're scoring 90th minute winners, bro, I'll hold my hands up and admit I was wrong.
Equalizer and a 92nd minute winner. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was the game that I'm talking about right now.
No, but that consistently that would happen. You know,
the Schick winner, bro.
Ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Always a fucking a header at a shitty little off the shin, off the kneecap. You know, bro. That's how you win titles, dog. You need
That's what pissed me off.
That can get you 33 goals a season.
Boniface as well.
20 of them are bad. You know,
yeah.
That's crucial.
The thing is, their rotation up top, they have 3. I'm not saying world class strikers, but 3 high level strikers in Boniface, Schick, and then Borja Iglesias as well.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, does not play a fucking minute in that team.
No,
But
but he's useful.
To show that he doesn't get minutes already,
no, it shows that they have a good striker.
That squad is crazy.
Not even
though.
on the cup, because they have 2 such good strikers.
Exactly.
You can rotate your strikers without even having to play the third on the squad.
No worries at all.
No, but their squad is actually pretty good. I mean, Grimaldo, Frimpong on the wings.
Yeah.
They've got Tapsoba. They've got Ta.
Hincapié is
Hincapié,
amazing.
yeah. And he's coming off the bench.
Yeah. I mean,
Adli,
he'll start. Recently, he's been starting more.
Yeah.
I think Hincapié is amazing. I'll always spoiler. I have him for the Newcastle section as someone that Newcastle could consider to look into buying.
Yeah, fair.
I think he's unbelievable. I followed him for a while because also when he plays for Ecuador, sort of seen him against Argentina in games and stuff like that, and he is. I thought he was so composing as a very young player.
He's Colombian, no? Venezuelan.
Ecuadorian,
Fair.
And I was really impressed. And I think at Leverkusen also is a back 3, obviously, so that benefits him because he's not super tall. But I think he's unbelievable. I think overall, this Leverkusen squad is unbelievable.
It's a very good squad.
Wirtz is.
But is it not going to get picked apart this summer, though?
Yeah.
Frimpong's release clause is absurdly low. It's around 40, 45, bro. It's absurd.
Apparently we want him, but I don't want him.
I'm sorry. I really think he has to be in a back. He has to be in sort of a back 5, back 3.
Yeah,
for now.
Does.
For now
I
in
don't
his
think
career.
I don't
but
think
his
he's good
defending
enough
is
to
not-
be as a right back in a 4-back. I don't think so.
No.
I think he'll be because also it's also I think an underutilization of his ability to play him as a right back in back 4.
I'd rather play him as a right wing.
I want him to basically be a right winger.
Yeah,
basically.
I
Same
don't
as
even want him,
Dumfries,
right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
basically because otherwise that's his best attributes are being at least not somewhat nullified if he's not consistently up there 1-on-1 against defenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think whoever does end up picking him up this summer is just it's not going to be a good signing. I can't see any big team coming in for him and being you know what, we want you, right? Other than maybe City that might make it work. But tell me one team that would make it work with him.
I think he's actually a bit slightly technically limited, not in terms of he has very good dribbling and stuff, but I don't think he could could he fill the role that Rico Lewis does?
No
It's
chance,
a very
no
different type
chance.
of
It's
player.
super different.
It's it's closer to Kyle Walker than he is to in terms of going forward, but he doesn't have the defensive
Yeah,
ability
yeah,
that
yeah.
Walker has.
The thing is, his
So he doesn't
instant
really fit into
acceleration
City.
is what
Oh.
makes him so
Blink,
Yeah,
he's gone.
that's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, look, I could see an Atletico coming in for him. I think Atletico would be a perfect club for him.
Yeah,
hadn't
to be
even
fair.
thought of that. That would be
three-back.
Because the thing is, right, you
Instead
have
of Lino.
That would be nice.
no Lino
bro.
plays on the left.
Oh, then that's perfect.
No, yeah, Molina plays on the right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
either Molina or Llorente.
Molina's very good though.
I watched their game. I think it was
Molina's
yesterday against Girona. 3-1, by the way. Very important for Barcelona to solidify ourselves as second, at least for now.
Honestly, top 4. I think second.
Second
Yeah,
is
but
nice. It's
no,
the
but
same.
second
It's
you get the
second-
money to then go to the
Yeah,
Super Cup, and
yeah,
we
fair,
need
fair,
that money.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey,
No,
bro,
it
it's-
is true. It is true.
But if that's a perfect addition, although I do also see like Samuel Lino getting picked up, and then you need to get another left wing back.
Yeah, Grimaldo.
No, he'll be
Yeah, but
expensive. He'll be
Grimaldo's
fucking
just
expensive.
been signed.
Yeah, he'll be.
That's the
very
problem, like-
expensive.
But he is unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
But
don't know
that's-
how they got him so cheap.
Because like
Benfica.
Barca didn't want
Yeah,
him.
but
It's not a super.
He wanted. He tried. He
If
tried
you're
pushing
outside
for
of the top-
Barca.
if you're outside of the top 5 leagues, like unless
but
you've just
people
put up a
wanted him.
season, yeah, but
People
but your-
wanted
but your,
him,
but
bro.
your price is somewhat deflated compared to him having
Yeah.
done that in a Premier League or in some other top
Yeah.
5 league. Like,
Yeah,
that's
that's
it's obviously
true.
going to be cheaper if he's coming from.
It's true,
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, it's facts. But
I mean, look, you see fucking you see players like, okay, for the Newcastle rebuild, right? You look at players and you think, okay, well, they are expendable and you could sell them, but if they've just signed a contract within the last year or 6 months, you can't get rid of them. Same goes for Grimaldo. Same goes for a bunch of players that like Bayer Leverkusen have in their ranks. But like Tella could definitely leave this summer, except he won't because he signed recently.
Yeah. Unless they get a Godfather offer, like
Yeah.
somebody really comes in and just is like, hey, like this is a lot of
Yeah.
like this is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Take it, you know.
Yeah. Right, next move.
next news, I just briefly wanted to discuss the fact that PSV won 6-0 against Vitesse
Yeah.
and have basically wrapped up the league.
Yeah.
Just want
It
to
was,
congratulate PSV.
Sure.
I
Fair
mean,
play.
is this a better side than the Ten Hag Ajax sides?
No.
No?
Sorry, but Ten Hag 2000, like the 2018-19 Champions League run is like unique.
Yeah,
the,
but
the
and I
I
think
squad is
that, like-
unique as well.
Yeah, like there were like multiple players there that were like borderline world class at the time.
Yeah.
yeah,
that's fairly
fair.
rare.
And the
Yeah,
thing is,
that's
I
true.
would even say that this PSV team isn't even better than last season's one. And I'll hold my hand up and
No,
genuinely
no,
say,
no,
with
no,
Gakpo, Xavi
no.
Simons, and Bakayoko.
They're
No,
bigger,
not
they're
Bakayoko.
bigger names, but I think
yeah, but as a team,
this
they
team
weren't
might
as
be more
good.
complete.
But they, yeah, for
I
sure.
liked them more last season.
And they also last season they had Van Nistelrooy. Now they have Bos. Bos is a much better coach.
But Van Nistelrooy
Van
did
Nistelrooy- I
crazy
didn't-
things.
I didn't
right?
hate
He was
Van
fucking-
Nistelrooy. I
he
didn't
was
hate
so
Van
good with them. He
No,
was
he-
linked to
he's
the
not
Tottenham
bad.
job. Obviously rejected it. I think he did.
Yeah, of course. How's Van Nistelrooy going to take a Tottenham job, bro?
Yeah, he was heavily linked.
No
he was
chance.
heavily
No
linked.
chance he's...
As a manager, like you have to take the
But
opportunity.
he's a
to come.
United legend. How are you going
Bro,
to
people,
manage
yeah,
Tottenham?
bro, managing
Van
No,
Persie was
he's-
Van Persie was an Arsenal legend.
Yeah,
then he
but
went to
Arsenal-
United.
yeah,
like
but
these things
Arsenal,
happen.
Arsenal, no one cares
No,
about
but managerial things, like, people really don't give a fuck like that.
Yeah, I reckon
No,
it'd be
no,
fine.
no. Gerrard could never manage United ever.
No, but that's
No, but
deeper
that's-
than-
that's
deep.
Yeah,
It
but
is, right.
you don't understand the Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, but also Tottenham is more insignificant to United than Liverpool is. Like Liverpool
Yeah,
is the
but-
old enemy.
Yeah, but
like
Mourinho is a Chelsea
Liverpool
club
is-
legend, then went
yeah.
to Man U,
Yeah, but
and then went
Mourinho's
to Tottenham.
Mourinho. Mourinho don't give a fuck.
No, but Mourinho's a
Mourinho
manager,
don't
and
give
managers
a-
don't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
but he's not like Van Nistelrooy is not just a man. Like he is a United cult hero. How are you gonna have a cult hero?
no, of
at
course,
Spurs?
but it's one
That's
thing. It's
fucked.
one thing. I don't think he would take the Liverpool job, and I
No,
don't think he would take a
definitely
City
not.
job. But I think a
No
Tottenham
chance.
job is far enough removed from United that
No,
it
no.
feels
I think
less.
I think
of
if
a
you took
vibe.
the Villa job, it would be kind of like
Bro.
Villa or
Bro.
like
you guys don't give a.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The like, bro, Tottenham is a club that anybody could have signed for this season, and nobody would have been mad because you knew that they weren't going to do well. Although Ange did well with them.
They started very well.
yeah. I think he's getting found out a bit now.
Well, I think it's also
I
just
said it last
it's a risky style of play. Like it is a
It's very
high risk, high reward. Like when
For sure.
when Tottenham click, you're like, whoa, this
Yeah.
like they are clicking, like
Yeah.
they're dangerous. Everyone, you've got like wing backs that are coming in and joining the attack. They're constantly dangerous.
Yeah.
They appear to be constantly creating stuff.
Yeah.
But like when they get a bit leaky at the back, they get very leaky
Yeah.
at the back
Yeah.
very quickly. You know.
Yeah,
That's
but I
And
think
we
they've
we
also-
just saw it this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been found out a little bit.
Yeah,
Found
I
out a
mean,
little bit.
they struggle a lot with injuries this season because their squad depth is really not something
it's
to
really
look at and
thin.
be like proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then again, like,
But to be fair, Van de Ven is back now though.
yeah,
Like he was gone for a while.
Yeah, he's
Romero
big. He's big.
suspensions left, right, and center as
Of
well.
course, bro.
but Van der Ven
That's how
hasn't
good he
reached
plays
his
football,
level.
bro.
Yeah. But yeah, next I just wanted to briefly discuss the Greece top 4 are 5 points within.
Oh
each
yeah?
other.
Bro, I can't lie. I have not been following the Greek.
No,
the
no, I
Greek
understand, I
league. You're gonna
understand.
have to update me,
But
brother.
I'm
'cause
Which
I
teams
am-
is it?
I love,
Olympiacos,
I love
Olympiacos.
footballs.
Athens,
PAOK knocking about there, man.
Yeah,
PAOK
probably
as well. I
PAOK.
think.
And
Yeah.
you're lucky if you get another country out of me, bro.
Oh, what's
Another
Yeah,
team out of me.
yeah.
Well, what's
bro.
the league called? Stokes, man. Okay, PAOK,
Yeah.
AEK. Oh, it's 4 points now. PAOK, AEK, Olympiacos, and
Yeah.
Panathinaikos. 4 points.
Yeah.
Do you want to repeat that one?
Panathinaikos.
Panathinaikos. So,
Whoa.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
Bro just whipped out.
So, yeah, that one. No, I didn't say anything bad. Right, 4 points. 4 points between the
Yeah.
top 4. But that's very interesting. I will be keeping an eye on this.
Yeah, it is.
Actually,
I
I'm
mean,
glad you brought that to my attention. That's sick.
So,
Also, Rangers lost today. Sorry.
no.
to cut across. Continue.
That's the next bit.
Yeah, fire.
The next
I'm
bit.
so glad, bro.
So,
I'm so
last
glad we
week
can have
we
this conversation.
discussed last week the Old Firm.
Oh, did you? I didn't.
because-
I actually haven't checked out the episode. How was it?
fake fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I
Yeah.
apologize.
No, it's alright. It's alright. We discussed the Old
Not playing
Firm.
for the badge like that, bro.
No, we
Happens.
discussed the Old Firm because we saw that there's like 1 point between the two,
Yeah.
and it ended 3-3. It was a
It was a
crazy
ridiculous
game.
game, bro. It was a ridiculous
And
Not
yeah,
good for
we
my
kind
blood
of
pressure, bro.
first of all, just to start this bit off, Scotland have a weird league in the sense that they have like rounds, championship rounds. Can you just briefly explain that, because I don't truly understand how
Okay.
it works.
So it's really weird. You have basically like you play like so far we played like 32 games,
Yeah.
and then like the
How many teams are there?
12,
Like, oh.
Okay.
and it divided into like 6 and 6. So like the top 6 will now go and like play each other one more time.
Yeah.
And the bottom will play each other
What
one
decides
more time.
home and away?
Seed,
It's
no?
like I'm pretty sure we still have to play them. Like there's still like games open that we still have to play against them. So like we just played them away, like
Yeah.
Rangers.
Yeah.
And so the remaining game is at home.
Okay.
But like if we had a remaining game against like a bottom of the league, like that would just be allowed.
Okay.
Like it's just like it's
Did
kind
skip
of-
it
Yeah.
and just.
yeah,
Wow.
sort of. But it's like it's basically it's I think it's designed so that you get a Celtic Rangers towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
Fair
That
enough,
is
yeah.
guaranteed to like. So you basically the thing with Scottish football, a lot of it is also about TV rights because it's a league that doesn't have
Yeah.
much money.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
the only game, for example, that you'll get here on Ziggo Sport is
Is
Celtic.
Is the Old Firm.
The idea. The Scottish FA have kind of around the way tried to find a way to maximize important old firms.
Yeah.
To try and maximize TV rights, try and get the most, and also
That's
because
fair.
that benefits Scottish football in
No,
general.
I understand.
So, like, I'm not saying that that's necessarily why the league is this way, but lots of things,
helps.
and it helps that
Yeah.
you can almost always guarantee, because they're always going to be within the top,
Yeah.
you know, that you're almost guaranteed some
Rivalry between the two of them.
some significant final game in the final stages of the season.
What are the standings right now?
So Rangers lost yesterday, which meant that they're now they were only if
Bro
they
whipped
won, they
out
were
the
1 point
Scottish
behind
now.
us.
No.
Go on.
But yeah.
But so now they're sort of 4 points behind us, but have a game in hand.
Yeah.
But so now it's in our hands. Because it was always in our hands, but we had to beat them at home.
Yeah.
When we're playing at Celtic Park, we had to beat them.
Yeah.
Now, as long as we don't lose
Yeah.
that game, like we can afford to draw one game and win the rest. Like we can afford to draw
Oh,
with
fair
them
enough.
and
Okay.
win the rest. Of
How
the
many games remaining?
6, I think, something like that.
Chilling.
5, 6,
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah.
But why
Yeah.
are there so little teams? Just because most teams can't afford to be in the first league? Because I'm pretty
I
sure
think there's
Belgium
12.
has
let
the
me,
same.
Let me have a double. Let me check. But
I
it's,
thought it
it's
was
also
8.
about
My
the
entire life I
size.
thought it was
No,
8.
the eight-
No,
eight
no,
is
no,
eight
no,
is
no.
Bro, because you play each team like
8
4
is Champions
times.
League group stage.
yeah.
Bro.
No, that's
too
the
much.
cup. That's the cup, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is 12. There is 12. Yeah, and like the top 6, you'll see go into like the championship round, and then it's like
A relegation.
What is it,
Relegation,
like
yeah.
first plays against fourth and then second
no,
plays?
like it's still like a continuation
Like a-
of the
yeah,
league.
continued
Like it
league
doesn't
phase.
turn into like a
Oh.
playoffs.
Yeah.
But it's just like you're only playing against the people in your like you're not going to play against a bottom half team
Fair.
of the team.
Yeah.
How is Aberdeen doing? They've
Shit.
just
Awful. They're
terrible.
like in the they're now like
In the
in
bottom
Relegation
Sona
zone.
the descenso.
Oof.
Yeah. Or like not in like they're not in there like they're not threatened, but they're going to go into the like bottom 6
Yeah.
rather than the top 6, which for Aberdeen like
That's a
they should
problem.
be, in my opinion, 3rd or 4th best team in Scotland
Yeah.
every season.
One would expect.
Mate, like half my like my two best Scottish friends are both Aberdeen fans.
Yeah.
Disaster class for them.
Yeah.
It's a long day for them.
Awful.
Yeah. But
My mate goes to like every game. He's living in Aberdeen now,
Yeah.
and he goes to every game just to see them like lose to fucking St Mirren. It's like it's brutal.
That's why you got to be a Rangers fan.
Hearts are decent this season. They're third, and their
Really?
striker Shankland has been like the top scorer in Scotland, and like he could.
Fair enough.
If Che Adams is like a little bit injured, then there's a chance that Shankland like
Lyndon Dykes
come off.
not.
I would still start Dykes, but like Shankland might come off the bench or like
Fair.
might start a game or two. Like
Fair
he's decent.
Hasn't
in
Shea
Euros.
Adams been linked to a Premier League team again, like Bournemouth or some shit like that?
I haven't seen that he's been linked. I wouldn't be surprised. I think he's a fairly good striker, especially for
Back up,
Scottish
though.
standards.
Back up.
Yeah.
But to start for Scotland in the Euros, we don't produce strikers.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
We produce like every other position, but like we do not produce number
Yeah,
nine.
strikers is not.
Since like Dalglish, we haven't produced a proper number 9.
Dalglish is a bitch though.
Unbelievable football
He's a
player.
pussy.
What a ridiculous football player.
But I was wondering though, because I don't like personally understand. Like Celtic went on a 9-year, just year in year
should have
out,
been 10.
winning every league title.
Yeah.
But now you're going toe to toe with Rangers. What's happened?
So the reason that we were for so long was because Rangers go into administration in 2012.
Yes.
So they get
true.
sent down to the bottom tier of Scottish professional football.
Oh, so you're
So you're winning. You win at least 4 or 5 titles whilst Rangers are coming up. Then
Yeah.
plus whilst they're coming up, they then have to rebuild themselves into
Yeah.
a Premiership team. So you have such a head start,
That's-
also a financial
to be fair,
head
that
start.
Yeah,
makes
that's true.
sense.
So you have
Yeah.
a huge advantage, and they've only now sort of come back.
Yeah.
When they won with Gerrard was the first time they'd won in ages.
Yeah.
They've now rebuilt themselves into a time where like they're competing. I still think we're the favorites to win every season. I think coming back from administration will take them 10, 15, 20 years because I think they're
Yeah.
still not where they were before.
Yeah.
But as you see, I mean, they reached a Europa League final. Like
Yeah.
there is good in Scottish
Not you
football.
guys.
No, we've been really poor in Europe. We've been
You know
really
what?
poor in Europe.
The games
compared
that
to-
I've seen you guys
We
play in
play well,
Europe,
but we
you
don't get
actually don't
results.
play bad.
No, you play
that
well,
game
but you
against
lose,
Real Madrid,
Yeah.
that game against
Yeah,
Real
you were
Madrid,
better.
where the first like 40 minutes, we were way better. Like we hit the post twice. I remember
Yeah.
like I was watching it in the pub, like OKC's.
First 15 minutes, you guys went
Mate, we were like
ridiculous.
all over them like a
Yeah.
rash. I was like, mate, like if we get a goal or two, like we can get a goal or two early,
Yeah.
like we change the game. We don't score, and then it's Real Madrid. There's an inevitability that just
Yeah.
like people, even when it's 0-0, you feel like you're losing 1-0
You're
because
still-
you should have been winning.
Yeah.
And that is terrible when you're already the smaller team in the tie, you know,
Yeah.
or like in the group
Yeah,
stage.
no, that doesn't help. But you do have the famous win against Barcelona where Forster,
Yeah.
Foster or Forster? Forster, right? Yeah, Forster had the game of his life.
Yeah.
That's the goalkeeper.
And it was
Damn, I didn't
crazy.
even
It's like
know
some
that.
19 I think
19-year-old
Messi
guy.
said that was like the hardest
Yeah,
goalkeeper he's
yeah,
ever faced.
And also, like the atmosphere there was crazy
Fair
because
enough.
it was the day of our 125th anniversary as a football
Oh
club.
yeah,
Because it was like
yeah.
1888 and then like 2013, and it was like
the atmosphere is gonna be absolutely.
it was like you have like the
electric.
special we had the special crest that had like the
With
this
the, like,
silver
the
thing
wings
around
or-
it because it was like 125 years of Celtic.
Yeah.
That was
that's
in a
gonna-
group stage with Ajax, no? In the
I
same
think
group?
so. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be, but yeah, that because that's the one they always
I
refer
can't
to
remember.
on Instagram when it's like. Remember this win? Like 30 shots, Barcelona.
Yeah.
Celtic
I think
2 shots.
I think we had 19% possession
Yeah.
or something. I think it was one of those, and it was like, and it's a
So
Gary
in a game
Hooper.
between
It's
the
like,
two of them, you're for Celtic.
I'm for Celtic because it's my family club.
You kinda
It's
have to,
like
you
it's
kinda
it's my my grandfather supported it, my uncle supports
Yeah.
it, my mum supports it. Like I'll talk to my cousins about it. And Barcelona is something I grew to love a bit. Like when I went to watch games as a kid, I went to like Camp Nou and stuff
Yeah.
because we had like some of my Argentine family lived
Yeah.
in Spain. So when we went to visit, we would always go to Barcelona games, and that plus Messi is just like
Yeah.
you develop a connection to it that outlives Messi going there. But Celtic is something that you carry with the family,
Yeah,
it's in
and
the
it
blood.
also means more to Celtic to beat Barcelona
For
than it means for
sure.
Barcelona to beat Celtic.
100%.
So you're always going to go for the underdog in that
No, that's
context
fair.
as
That makes a
well.
lot of sense.
That's fair. That's fair.
Right. Well, what else have we got? That's kind of the football news here. Now let's talk about the Champions League results
Oof.
from last week.
Yeah.
We'll start with Arsenal Bayern. We're talking
Do we
about
go
the
through our
Champions League.
predictions while we're at it?
Yeah.
Surely, if we do you
I'd
have
actually
the
be curious
predictions
to see
up?
what you, I want to see
Because
how far
I'm
they
pretty
were.
sure I got my.
You got one.
Well, I got the.
perfectly.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty. Yeah, I was gonna say two. That Let's Go one, right?
Yeah.
Did you say
But-
2-1?
Yeah. I said 2-0, and it was 2-0 for the longest time as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arsenal Bayern. I said 2-1 to Arsenal. You said 1-0 to Arsenal. It was 2-2, right? 2-2 with the penalty shout. So we're saying that I'm saying that the Saka at the end, he's kicking Neuer. Saka should get a yellow, bro.
I don't think Saka should get a yellow, but I think it's understandable.
He is kicking him.
Yeah, but it's fair to just not give it as anything and just call it.
No,
Like, I think
of
it's
course
fine.
that's the best call.
But borderline yellow for diving. Because he stretched his leg out with only one intention, not to reach the ball.
No,
there was no intent to get the ball there.
Try
Yeah,
and
but
get
I
the-
think it's one thing to give a yellow for diving, and it's another thing to give a yellow for initiating contact. I think initiating
No, it's
contact
obviously
is something
for
that
diving.
attackers will do often in the box, and
Yeah.
like you can't give a yellow for every time the attacker initiates
No.
You
contact.
can
'cause
initiate
sometimes-
contact when you're near the ball, bro. He's
I
nowhere near
I understand.
it.
I also understand it from Saka's perspective. I can't lie. If I'm in that position, I do the exact same thing.
No.
I'm 100%
I don't think I'd have the balls to.
because
I'm
listen,
100%
I think I have too much pride to do that.
No,
No.
mate. I'm sticking my legs so far out to
No,
try
but-
and because you've seen them given. Like there's
Yeah,
there's
but-
I can't lie. There's a
or-
50-50 chance he gives that.
No.
There's a 50-50 chance.
If
he's
he
given.
if he acted out better,
Bro,
we'll say 50-50.
There's a chance, or if Neuer, or maybe Neuer sprints a tiny bit quicker
But
and like
Neuer's
it's a little bit
he's
more.
not born yesterday.
No, of
No,
course not.
it's-
It's
Yeah.
one of, like this is, in my opinion, maybe the greatest keeper of all time. Like
Yeah,
this is like
yeah.
this is
Up there.
Like
Yeah,
if he's
Neuer
not
read
there, he's
that
in,
like a book.
If he's not there, he's
Yeah.
he's two. You know what I mean? Like he's right there.
For sure.
So obviously, yeah, but I understand. It's one thing to say like I don't think it should be a penalty. I think he's looking for it, and it's another thing to be like I understand why he went for it.
No,
you know?
I don't understand it because he could have easily run around the goalkeeper there and just.
No.
Yes, he
I
could
don't,
have.
I don't think
He
he's-
could
You
have.
said it yourself.
Mate,
Neuer
it's
was
Neuer.
not born yesterday.
No, he
bro.
wasn't.
But you also have it in your mind that it's Neuer as an attacker when you're running one on
That's
one.
true.
You've seen that
That's true.
Neuer's whole career that players will just alter themselves by 5%. Like they'll put a shot that like they would bury. I mean, we saw this in the 2014 World Cup final is a perfect example of this, where it's like Messi and like lots of the Argentine players, they're trying to, and also this happens to Neuer all the time. You're trying to put it in the top corner or so far in the bottom corner or such a
Yeah,
perfect
just 'cause
strike
you don't
because you
think-
think if this is not perfect, it's
He's getting
saved.
it. Yeah.
So when Saka's going there, he doesn't
Yeah.
think, oh, let me just take it around Neuer and put it in.
Yeah.
He thinks like,
But it was
if I try
possible.
to take it around, yeah, of course it's
Very
possible, but it's
possible.
possible when you're watching it from your TV, or
Yeah,
it's
that's
possible
true,
when
that's
you've
true,
when you're seeing
that's
it in
true.
slow motion.
I
That's
guess.
true.
In
yeah.
the second, you think Neuer's coming out to me. I'm not going to take it past fucking Manuel Neuer. Let me try and get a contact,
Yeah.
initiate something.
In
I
that
believe
sense,
that.
I
Like,
can understand how he goes for it.
of course, I think
Yeah,
it's.
if you
But the
if you put
attempt
it in
was
that
pathetic.
context,
The
yes.
the attempt is
The fact that
it's
people
come
are
off
the
embarrassing.
fact that it's even
come
a
off.
debate is the problem with it.
As soon
I
as
don't-
I saw
yeah,
it, I was
yes.
like, bro, come on now.
Because of course, Arsenal deserved to. Well, Bayern deserved the penalty
Actually deserved it.
because you like
Yeah.
look.
That's
Arteta, I think Arteta spoke about it after the game, right? And he said that he
What did
spoke
he
with
say?
the referee, and the
Yeah.
referee called it a kid's mistake. He said it's too much
That's
to give in a
insane.
Champions League quarterfinal. It's a kid's mistake. Those words.
That-
Words.
that is
It's a
ridiculous.
kid's mistake. I'm sorry. How dumb are you, right? Kids' mistakes should be punished the most. If somebody does a foul throw-in,
Yeah.
you call it
Yeah, but
instantly.
they're not given in professional football either. People don't call foul throw-ins because
No,
they're just like surely
know.
people
No,
don't
they
look
do,
for
they
them.
do.
because there's no gravity.
Hardly.
Bro,
There are
'cause
times
the-
they have a
yeah,
hardly.
Because the
hardly,
importance
compared to
of
how
a
often
foul
they're foul
throw-in
throws.
is not like has nothing to do with like this is a penalty. It's a penalty.
Yeah.
That's something you look at. You call VAR. VAR should even like. Apparently, okay, let me just say because I spoke to an Arsenal fan yesterday. Apparently, they did a counter, and this is like the 30th time it's happened with Gabriel and Raya this season.
Oh, dude.
Like somebody went through it and counted it, right?
Damn.
It's happened so many times this season.
That's mental.
Damn.
And I'm just saying, right?
And you do have to punish it, I think.
You have to
Yeah.
punish it at some
Rules
point.
are rules at the end of the day.
Exactly. And it's like, it
Yeah.
might be stupid. Like, I understand, like, so many penalties these days are just so stupidly given. But you have to understand where they're coming from because the rules are the rules for a
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
But, bro.
It comes into also a broader thing of how do we want referees to officiate these games?
Yeah.
Do you want it to be perfectly by the book, almost as if it's like a robot doing it? Or do you want the referee to have some leeway that's like certain levels of like subjectivity based on the fact that it's like, I don't want to give a penalty for that in such a big game?
Yeah.
Do you think that that should be something that referees consider or not at all?
See, something that's subjective is giving a yellow card or giving a foul because you see it and you think, okay, that's too light to be given. This is just like.
But you could say that this is too light.
This is not subjective. This is just like flat out. This is just a penalty. Like
Yeah.
there's like no matter how you look at it, it's a penalty. Like, you can be like, oh, think about it with an open mind. No, you can't. It's a penalty.
Yeah.
You can't look at it any different way than it actually is. Look,
No,
I'm saying
Yeah.
It is a penalty.
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
Do you also understand why the referee doesn't give it?
To an
Yeah,
extent.
but they were like, it's the spirit. It's in the spirit of the game.
yeah.
Like, I
On such a high
understand.
stage.
Yeah, I understand that for sure. But it's like, isn't that the perfect moment to like set an example?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But I think we're I think sometimes hypocritical when it comes to like this football discourse where it's like we want referees to be able to be like, no, but come on, like some of the handball stuff that happens.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
like, that's never a handball. Like, have
But
you ever played a
that's
sport in your life?
subjective,
Your
though.
hands in it, like that is a natural position if you're full sprint.
Yeah.
You know, like there's certain stuff like that we see given.
Yeah.
So then when we ask, hey, like, add an element of subjectivity from knowledge of the sport and things like that, and then when we see it happen in Champions League, then we're like, well, why are you being subjective? Then it's
Yeah.
like, then the referees, once they've made a mistake, are forced to maintain making that mistake forever, because now
Yeah.
we're like, oh, this is now
Yeah.
you're changing your rules. So
Yeah.
I think there's a certain, like, obviously I'm not saying that in this case, like if I was a Bayern fan or if I was like somewhat connected to Bayern, I would have lost my
Bro.
mind.
Yeah.
I would have been
Yeah.
like beside myself. I don't take that away. But I think that asking for a bit of subjectivity in the way we enforce football is kind of fair.
Okay,
Yeah.
but what was VAR implemented for? What was goal line technology implemented for? Like, this is all just to make the game more by the book, right?
Yeah.
So why would you add VAR and make it more about the rules rather than like referee's judgment, and then not like, I don't know. I think Bayern have genuinely been robbed. I think Bayern have been robbed. Because if you go to that second leg, right, you're playing at home. You're not even going anywhere. You're hosting them with a goal lead.
If they give the first pen, they give the Saka one though.
Yeah, but okay.
No,
I'm telling you,
No
I'm
chance,
telling you,
bro.
if
I
they
don't
give
chance.
no, if they,
I
if
can
I'm
understand
telling you this is how
I can
refs work.
understand
If they give the Gabriel pen for picking the ball up, they give the Saka one for the light contact, even though Saka initiates it, and I agree that it's not a penalty, but because they'll feel like they have to do something to like
Yeah.
put it right, because
Yeah.
it's a messed up call.
professional refs don't do that though.
No.
Professional refs
Of-
don't make
no,
it right.
No, you
Yeah, but
don't.
it's
You
still
don't.
human.
But
They're
it's
still human,
I fundamentally believe that it subconsciously influences
Of course,
decisions.
100%,
That you
100%.
feel like
but
it's
that's
like
what VAR is for.
And I know.
Yeah, but I don't think
I know.
VAR. Like, I think you're overestimating the.
I think
impact
VAR is still
makes.
also run by humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
VAR is so
Four.
shit.
4 humans.
Yeah, but I
there's
don't
4
think-
people in
With
those
the
rooms.
intelligence of some of these VAR officials,
Yeah.
with some of these good process guys, good process, and like some
bro,
of these, like I don't know, man.
They
I don't
have-
think it's a good
Bro, but
process, dog.
You'll have
Like-
Anthony Taylor in those VAR rooms every now and then. Like, bro,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just referees in
why.
there.
That's
why.
You'll have
Brother, you're making my point for me. Like-
hold up. Anthony Taylor was busy in fucking Paris the next day, so he wasn't there. He wasn't in the
No,
VAR
no.
room.
Okay, that's
However,
fair, that's fair.
I'm just saying, like, you have 4 people in the room there who all have the ability to call the referee to the screen.
Yeah.
They can all call him to the screen.
Yeah.
One person has to. You see Harry Kane and everything complaining about it. Why do you not pick up on it? Like, why do you not see them complain and be like, you know what? Actually, they are right. Come look at this.
Yeah, but
That's a penalty.
maybe they picked up and were like, okay, that is a pen, but as you already mentioned, they
Yeah,
decided that in the spirit of the game they weren't going to
yeah,
give it.
okay.
So that's a philosophical. That's like a philosophical discussion about football.
Yeah.
It's like, do we want that? Do we want those given or do we not want those given?
Yeah.
And like, if that's a topic if it's a conversation you want to have now, we can have that conversation. But like, I think the conversation isn't necessarily just about this one incident. It's like, do we want to have that referees have that type of leeway, or do we want it to be like every penalty is given a penalty, and this is by the book, and this is this. You know, and-
I think so.
I prefer that.
If
as
you're
well.
going to
Because then
start
it's-
it, go with it.
it's set in stone.
But you're never going to eliminate human subjectivity,
No, but that's
I know.
always gonna
especially
be
when
a.
there's human refs. Like
The
that's
thing is,
but
that's
you-
always gonna be an issue, and I just think that we kind of have to accept that refs are always gonna make mistakes.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't like VAR, because you're still gonna make mistakes, and VAR for me takes away the spirit of like when you score a goal pre VAR. Everyone's going nuts because
Yeah.
you know it's done. The goal's
Yeah.
been scored.
But there are some mistakes pre VAR that are like you watch it and it's
But
like
that's
you've-
football.
yeah, but it still
Yeah.
happens. Like it still happens.
we've been
does.
It
finessed.
still happens.
The Luis Diaz goal. If Liverpool end up like
But okay,
losing by like a point.
Grealish, Tottenham, Grealish.
Yeah, but that's what
No,
I
but I think the
mean,
Luis
that's what I
Diaz one
mean.
is more in your face offensive. The
No,
Luis
no,
Diaz one is
yes,
like
yeah,
VAR
okay.
just being like
Yeah, but they've been blessed up ever
Incompetent.
since, though.
Yeah.
They've been blessed up. Like, they've been kind of, like, the refs have made up for that in a lot of minor decisions going their way.
Fair.
A lot.
Fair.
also
I'm
my
telling you.
point
I'm
of view.
telling you. If Liverpool don't win the title by goal difference or by a point or something, all hell's gonna break loose based on that decision.
It was against Newcastle. No, it wasn't against
No, it was
Newcastle.
Spurs.
Yeah.
No, but
Fact,
look,
it was against
I just
Spurs.
think that the refs' mistakes are always going to be there, and like, fuck VAR, fuck it, bro. Because I was watching the other day, I was watching the last 8 minutes of Brazil versus Costa Rica in like 2018, right, at the World Cup, and they did have VAR, but it wasn't like in the system yet properly.
Bro,
You know?
I love those YouTube deep dives where I end up watching some random football game highlights.
Yeah.
Like I've got like, you just end up like clicking one video, then the next video, then the next video.
I just got random cramps, bro.
Yeah, but so basically,
Bro,
yeah,
you need to hydrate.
Neymar,
Yeah,
scored-
for
Neymar scores the winner, right? And this is start of VAR. So you know how like when Sterling scored the winner, he was going mad because no one's really used to the
Yeah.
VAR, right?
yeah.
Bro, he's going mad
one's
and
such
everyone's
a
going
vibe.
mad. And then the commentator mentions, oh, but we don't know about VAR yet. And you can tell that the players are not thinking about it at all because it's new.
Yeah.
These days, when someone scores a goal and it's a little bit offside, everyone's a bit like,
You're not 100%
Yeah, you're
celebrating.
not
No,
100%.
it
I
dampens
really
the
miss that.
celebrations, right?
yeah, it really damages
And the
like
thing
a
is,
key
right,
part of the game.
We okay, as a Barcelona fan, watching Real Madrid win 3 Champions Leagues that were undeserved because of terrible
Undeserved is
refereeing
not
mistakes.
true. Undeserved is
100%.
So we're not going to
that
talk
were-
about the 6-1 then.
No,
yeah?
no, of course, but like
We didn't win the
but
Champions League,
They
did
were
we?
aided.
Yeah,
they were aided.
alley-ooped the fuck
Listen,
out.
listen. They
Bro,
right.
They
in
did
a round of
everything they
16
could.
They were
They did
aided.
everything
they
they
were,
could.
They were
No, it's not.
there is a certain element that they were aided by poor refereeing decisions in
Yeah,
their
but
favor.
so
Bro,
were so was
Marcelo-
Barca 6-1.
Marce-
You just
Marce-
didn't capitalize.
yeah,
Marcelo
You
went-
just didn't capitalize.
Marcelo went
They
on a
did.
podcast the other day and
but, like,
openly
it's regardless
admitted
outrageous.
that
Yeah.
that
Regardless
game was a
outrageous.
VAR. He openly admitted that it was a VAR.
Like
Which game?
one.
Bayern,
Yeah.
away,
The Bayern one's
Real
ridiculous.
Madrid.
The Bayern one's ridiculous. The Bayern
Lewa
one's
had a
ridiculous.
goal
The Bayern one's
cancelled,
ridiculous.
and 3 offsides for Real Madrid led to goals. 3.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. It is true.
Bro, Marcelo said, I passed that ball to Ronaldo. I saw him offside.
but
It wasn't given.
okay.
I was so happy.
Yeah, I mean, I
He said it.
understand.
He said it. He
I
said it on the
understand.
podcast.
I understand
Yeah,
that.
that's facts.
But it's like you can't be complaining about that when you've also got
I'm not.
alley-ooped.
That's why-
Well, you are.
No, I'm not.
but
I'm
we're
saying
talking
bring
in the
VAR back
in the
because it
context
brings
of
back
VAR.
football.
Yeah, in the
Oh,
context of VAR,
yeah.
it makes sense. Like
That's fair. That's fair.
because
that's
like
fair,
those
that's
are really. I mean, those are like legacy altering like
Yeah,
moments for players,
Yeah.
for clubs,
Yeah,
for fans, for
yeah.
individuals, and like to lose those because of refereeing
yeah,
decisions
but
is
the
extremely
thing is that
frustrating.
still happens. That's what
But
I'm trying
that's
to
why
say.
if
But
it's
I
still
think-
gonna happen, get rid of it. That's
Yeah,
that's
that's
my
why
stance on
that's
it.
what I'm trying to say.
The way it was implemented was rushed and it was inefficient, and
Yeah.
there's a way that in which it could have been tested and improved upon, and once
Yeah.
you had an improved finished product, you implemented it in the top leagues. They did it the other way around. They implemented it in the top leagues, and like as it went trickling down, it got better. So
Yeah.
it's like there's no way that like the some division that's now implementing VAR will have a better process in the Premier League
Yeah.
or the World Cup when it started.
Yeah.
And I understand that like you want to implement it at the top level, but I think it should be the opposite, where
Yeah,
it's like
get rid.
the top level of football should have been almost not the last ones, but like once it had been established.
Yeah.
I think the only VAR for me that's like valid is the semi-automated offside.
What?
VAR.
They're introducing it to
Yeah, Prem next year.
Yeah,
to
because they
Premier-
used it at the
Bro.
World Cup
And it
That's
didn't
the-
work.
Didn't
Yeah,
work.
it did.
The Lautaro one they got wrong.
Exactly. Lautaro was
The
onside.
Lautaro
bro.
in Saudi Arabia gets wrong. It calculates from the wrong defender.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
about
In
that?
Saudi Arabia, 100%.
Like, one of the first games they made a
done
mistake.
Like I looked into it, obviously, given,
Bro,
like it was Saudi Arabia.
I lost
You
a lot of
understand?
money on that, bro.
I was,
Trust
I was
me.
traumatized, bro.
Yeah,
I was
bro.
like, you got to realize, I go into the World Cup and we're favorites. Like, I'm so gassed for this World Cup.
Yeah.
I spent a week, like, I was like, me and my dad were like, my dad, because obviously he was in 2002 and 2006. And like 2002, Argentina have like a lovely groups, like qualifications and
Yeah.
stuff, and go out in the group stage.
Yeah,
And my
that's
dad,
right.
20 years later, is just walking around the house, like hands on his head, traumatized.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Ese es
yeah.
2002. Ese es 2002 otra vez." You know, just like
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
shaken.
Yeah.
And so in that context, we discovered that the automated offside has calculated from the wrong line,
Yeah.
and like we were like we could have killed someone. Like we were out. We
You
were
see that,
fuming,
you
dog.
see that, and you're fucking. I'm livid. As if I was
Bro.
Argentine, like I lost money on the bet. Like I was gonna look. I had a parlay going right, and it would, bro. I was. Everything hit. All I needed was fucking Argentina to beat Saudi
And the
Arabia.
odds were also ridiculous. Like Saudi Arabia to win was like 64-1 or something like
Bro,
that.
it,
Like,
like,
you
there
got
was
no
no
money
chance
for
they were
betting on
winning.
Argentina. Like
Yeah.
you got no money. Like you might as well not
Bro.
have added it to the party.
And then I lost
Like,
it. I
you got
lost
you an
it.
extra €2 and you were just like fiending for them, you know?
Yeah. No, Lautaro violated, bro.
Yeah.
Lautaro all World Cup lost a lot of people a lot of money, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
Like Australia games, like
100%.
bro, Argentina.
Licha won that game, by the way, against Australia.
That tackle that he makes is unbelievable.
Yeah, he won that game against
It reminds me of the Macadano tackle against Robin in 2014.
Yeah, it is. But let's move on to the next Champions League game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
So, City against Real Madrid. Real Madrid squandered a big opportunity there, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's really
I
squandered.
think both teams will be relatively okay with that result.
No, Real Madrid is no.
No,
They're not
I don't
happy.
think-
They're not
bro,
happy. They're
Real
not
Madrid
happy.
needed to cap.
Yeah.
Bro,
No
Walker's back for the
Tchouaméni.
next fixture.
Yeah, I understand
Real
that. I
Madrid
understand
are
that. But I think there is a certain extent to which Real Madrid believe that, like, if they just keep it close, that they will overcome in the last
100%.
15 minutes of a second leg. That they're just like, as long as we're not losing heavily, we believe that we can still win that tie.
100%.
So I think that, like,
Yeah.
City
Yeah.
could have gone in and put on like one of those amazing City performances where you just play them off the park, and they didn't. And obviously, like, in
They were missing
hindsight,
a lot of
in
players.
hindsight, true. In hindsight, Real Madrid will be like, "Oh, we could have easily won that game." But if you tell a Real Madrid like fan or a supporter before the game, like, you go in 2-2, they would have been like, hey,
No,
like,
no, no,
I
no,
think
no,
we
no,
take
no,
that.
no,
No, but I don't
I
think
know.
so.
I really
No
do.
Real
I
Madrid
do
fan
believe
would have
so.
accepted a
No,
draw.
no.
No way.
I think you do.
No.
I think you do
Given the
against, I
game
think you do
went
against
as
the
well.
City.
Think
team.
about
no,
it,
but I
bro.
agree. Not given the game.
Vinny,
not given the way
Vinny
game went.
missed a lot
No, no,
of
of course,
chances.
of course.
A lot. Like, those are chances that if you miss those, you get knocked out.
See, the
That's
thing is,
Champions
as Real Madrid, you want to go there with a 1-goal cushion.
Yeah.
Because
100%
you
agree.
know that at that point
You're not winning at the Etihad.
City
You're
need
not.
to push exactly. But if
Yeah.
City need to
If there's
push,
any
you
team that
exploit
if there's
the
any
space
team
in
that
behind.
win,
Yeah.
if there's any
Yeah.
team that can win
Yeah.
at the Etihad, it's Real Madrid.
Yeah. To be fair, like,
they're the only team in the. I would go so far as to say this: they're the only team left in the Champions League that would beat City at the
no,
Etihad.
100%. 100%.
They're
But
the only team that can go there and still believe like, oh, I think we beat them, and I don't think any other team in the Champions League has that.
and on top of that as well, this
PSG
season,
potentially.
No,
PSG.
no chance.
On
no
on
chance,
a
no
good
chance.
day,
No,
bro.
no, bro.
hell no.
Barcelona were
Hell fucking
extremely like I thought Barcelona were superior
Yeah,
to
but
PSG, and I thought
PSG are
PSG
poor.
like City could put 4 past PSG.
Yeah.
Bro,
5.
I know they could, but on like the same way, Mbappe could also put. I'm not saying that. Look, you're saying there's nobody could beat them there. I'm just trying to say,
Of course,
take
I
it
mean,
with a pinch of
Arsenal
salt.
could as
Yeah.
well.
No,
on a perfect
Arsenal could
day.
not.
No, no, no,
Arsenal
on a
could not.
Perfect day- I mean, on a perfect day, anyone could.
I'd have
but
I'd have
really think-
PSG beating them over Arsenal.
I can
No,
see
I
that.
disagree,
I can
I
see that. I
disagree,
can see that.
I disagree
But
with that. I disagree.
I think just both don't. But either way,
I'm more prone to agree with that. Yeah.
No, but either way, City as well this season have not beaten a good side yet. What a good side have City beaten this season? United, we're not a good side. Aside from that,
That's the first good point you made on
yeah,
podcast.
no, but like aside from that, which good team in the league have they beaten? None. And in the
Villa?
Champions League, none. Bro,
Villa,
Villa is
4-1.
not.
Good, but
Yeah, but
4-1.
I'm talking
Good,
about a
but they're
top
not.
team. I'm talking about a top
Villa
team.
is a top team,
Yeah, but
bro.
Villa-
Villa just beat Arsenal 2-0 away.
City
Yeah,
are
but
City are.
They beat
like-
City at home as well. Villa.
Yeah, exactly. So they are a top side.
Yeah,
like
but they're
Villa
not
beat
like a
Arsenal
proper-
twice this season.
They're not
Yeah, but-
Arsenal or
no, but I'm
Liverpool. Like,
talking
they're-
top
they are-
six.
they are a
I'm
step
talking
below
like,
Arsenal and
yeah,
Liverpool.
I'm talking like a.
They're the fourth
proper
best
good
team in the
team.
Premier League. So if
Yes,
you're not considering that
agreed,
a top team, I
agreed.
don't know what you're
But I
talking
think
about.
okay, but I
No,
think
but
no,
I'm
I think what he's
talking
talking about is like
proper-
he's talking.
I
Basically,
know, I
it's
understand
Arsenal
the
or
point.
Liverpool.
I understand
That's
Arsenal
what
or
you're talking
Liverpool.
about because
They haven't.
they're the only teams in the
Yeah.
league that are.
They haven't
on
even beat
that
Chelsea.
level.
But have City really
I don't
like
think Chelsea are in the league
City
team.
win games when
Yeah.
they need to win games? Have they needed to win any game against a big team this
That's
season?
not what I'm.
I think
I'm just
yes.
saying.
I think yes because I think actually like
They need
now,
to beat
the-
Arsenal.
The place that we're in
They
now
did. They
means that
did.
we're like, oh, I mean, City obviously they like didn't mess around, but now they're in a fine position. They're all comfortable. But I don't think that necessarily means that it would have always been this way. Like when they drop points to like Arsenal and Liverpool, like there was a chance that if that Arsenal could have just like continued if they
Yeah.
hadn't had a couple of bad
Yeah.
results and
Yeah.
been like now there's like a 4-point lead suddenly that
Yeah.
that City have to chase. And with injuries and stuff like that, could have been very
Okay,
complicated.
but City
Like, they
have
were
gotten
must
unlucky in
wins.
these big games. City have gotten really unlucky, bro. When you draw against fucking Liverpool at home, I'm sorry, that's a City win. The loss against Arsenal away, unlucky deflection. Congratulations, lose
Yeah,
that
but,
game.
yeah, but they wouldn't have won
yeah,
that
but
game.
they weren't. They
No,
weren't.
They weren't gonna win.
Oh,
the
they
game.
weren't
but it's about the
superior
fact
in
that
those
in the
games.
Champions
Yeah.
League, somebody needs to win. Somebody needs. You can't draw. Like teams cannot be happy with a draw away
I
against.
reckon that game. No, obviously.
No,
not
it's not going to
happy.
penalties.
I
No
re-
chance. No
I
chance.
reckon
no
that
chance.
game. I reckon that game goes extra time.
Yeah.
Extra time, yeah, but penalties never in a million years. City going to penalties, you've lost that. I'm sorry.
You think City win penalties against Real?
No, as in like City have lost that. But then I think about it again, and you think about that Real Madrid team who scores penalties.
Bro, everyone.
Not Vinny.
Not Rodrigo.
Vinny's probably missed like half of his penalties in his career.
Yeah,
He missed one. He missed one in the summer against Barcelona.
Yeah, to be fair, the Real Madrid goalkeeper. But is Ortega in goal?
It does depend who's in goal.
Yeah,
Ortega's
I
not
think
second.
It's
Ederson
more
might be
about
back.
who's in
Bro.
goal
Is
than-
Ederson back?
I don't know.
Ederson is
was
not a
back
penalty
today.
killer
Yeah.
either.
Alisson was back today. Though.
Yeah, but you'd rather have Ederson in goal than Ortega.
He
Yeah,
has more. He
but-
has more. Right.
For sure, but
Like
he's
no
not-
disrespect, but I think I'm burying my pen past Ortega. I 100% believe that.
yeah, but Ederson's not a known penalty killer either.
No, of course not. But I would be more scared when I see Ederson in
Yeah,
goal.
yeah, yeah,
I would be
yeah.
like,
No,
you know,
no.
like I would be like,
No
damn,
doubt,
you know?
no doubt. But it's not like he's not a like
Yeah, it's
Emi
not Emi
Martinez
Martinez,
or like a Krul
No,
or
no,
like
100%.
one of them
100%.
penalty
Bro, I'm
killers.
sorry. We need to strip half of like Kroos like penalty saves off of him, because like 90% of his saves he's just hopped off the line too quickly, right? And I don't know how he's done it, how he's gotten away with it, because there's always referees on the line.
Yeah, but
at
he's
the time.
smart with it, bro.
He's too smart with it, but
yeah.
VAR
It's
caught him
like-
lacking,
it's
bro.
like
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
VAR,
true.
VAR,
VAR
ruined,
caught him,
VAR
bro.
ruined this man's
Yeah.
career.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
Yeah.
like-
That guy was a penalty killer, bro.
The
And then
bench at
VAR
Luton now.
Yeah.
It's also a
oh,
like
that's tough.
yeah.
He's 38 though.
Yeah, no,
He's
no.
38.
Broski should
Maybe older,
He
bro.
should be a
Yeah.
player coach. Like the
Yeah.
fact that
Yeah,
he's
like, why are you
basically
still
back
on the
to
bench?
like,
Basically
yeah,
is,
yeah.
Yeah. Why are you
Like you
still
should
on the
not
bench?
be. You shouldn't even be taking your clothes
Bro,
with you. to
he
the
was
game,
old
like-
in 2014.
even Scott Carson can be useful at City. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, of course, but that's also locker room guys'
Yeah, very
experience.
much
Like
a
I
locker
really
room.
value
That's
that a lot. I think that's super important for a
100%.
club.
Yeah.
I think actually I had this idea talking about this experience. If you had got Carlo Ancelotti to be at United when Ronaldo was there, and you'd have
Yeah.
got he could have got Ronaldo to buy into an Ibrahimovic type role at AC Milan, which is you're not starting every game. Sometimes you'll get 25 minutes, sometimes you'll get 5, and you'll start occasional games, but like it's going to be like that. But you need to be a leader for this young generation of players, and you need to be a role model.
As
of
in CR7
professionalism.
at Madrid right now.
No. CR7 at United when he was
No.
when Ronaldo was at
Like
United.
when he came back the second
Okay,
time.
When he came back.
okay.
Yeah.
And when he fucks off the Saudi and has the problem with Ten Hag, if it's Ancelotti there and Ancelotti gets him to build and gets him to be a leader and like club captain, but like captain when he plays, you
Yeah.
know, and is like your role now is going to be one of like you're not the superstar. You're going to be the old head, the leader, the someone who has those standards. Who you're the first one in the gym and things like that.
Yeah.
And you pass that on to Rashford, to Garnacho. You're there. People respect him, and you get the manager on board.
I don't think Ronaldo can do that then.
I don't.
No,
That's
no,
the thing. If you can
no.
if you can
There's
get
two
Ronaldo to
issues.
buy in,
There's two
it's
issues with that.
But
First
it
of
has
all,
to be a manager like Ancelotti
Yeah.
who would
Yeah,
be. If
yeah.
there's
It
anyone
need-
in the
yeah.
world that can do it, it would be someone like Don
No,
Carlo.
but
Pep-
there's
Pep
two
or
issues with that.
Ancelotti.
First of all, he's not buying it, right? He's
he's
not doing that.
He's not buying it.
And the second issue is he's the best striker at the club. So how are you going to put him
No,
on
but
the
you
bench?
could because he can't give you 90 minutes in the way that
Tony
like
Marshall.
pressing and stuff.
Yeah, but
like,
he's still then better than whoever else is behind him.
Yeah, for
That's-
sure, for sure. But
Like,
like,
it
but yeah,
doesn't
but
make
that's why you
sense
bring
to
him,
bench
But that's
him.
why you play him 35 minutes when like in like big games or whatever. Like I understand that you want him to play.
No, but he
he's
is
not-
the best player. That's the issue. Like he is he was our top scorer.
Cavani
by
was a
far.
better striker in that season, in his time there.
Not even close. Not even
Cavani,
close.
Cavani,
I love
Cavani,
it.
If Cavani got the
Cavani
minutes
scored
that-
like double the goal, Ronaldo scored like double the goals that Cavani did
in
like
triple
half
the
time.
minutes.
In half the time. No, because
What?
Cavani was there the season before.
Yeah, no, but like also like when
Bro, when the mic, when they were there together, Cavani was better.
No,
Bro, for sure.
was not.
More useful to the team, especially.
no way.
If
That's
anything,
just-
he brought
that's
more
just
of a
false
leader's
truth. That's
ment-
just not true.
Bro, what?
That's just false.
Pressing from the
information.
front, he was way better than Ronaldo.
Okay, but who was winning us games? Not Cavani.
Cavani won you games.
No, Ronaldo won us literally more than 50 or 60% of our games. Like literally,
And also lost
we
the
weren't
rest.
even United. We were literally Ronaldo FC. That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
we were.
No, I understand that, but I also think that like fine, Ronaldo doesn't have that type of mentality to buy into something like that.
No, it's not
But
that.
it's
It's not
like-
that. It's that.
But
Yeah,
I think-
okay, in that sense, like to be
I
a
think,
bench player. Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah,
think that
yeah.
I think that it would have been what was best for him and
No,
it would have
I
been
agree.
For the club.
and it would have been
I
definitely
agree.
what was best for the football
Yeah.
club.
No.
And if he loved
I agree,
United,
I
it would have
agree,
been
I
like
agree.
you put your pride to the side for it. Ronaldo has too much pride and has too much ego, and it's listen, it's been one of his greatest attributes.
Yeah.
He shoots from wherever he wants because he's like, I'm
I
literally
am that
Cristiano
guy.
Ronaldo.
Yeah, I am
like
I'm
my
him.
name is Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm
Yeah.
shooting from
Yeah.
here, and like
Yeah.
that served him unbelievably well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
towards the tail end of your career, it's a slight downfall, and that
Yeah.
is what happens with older players that
Yeah,
can't
it's just your
accept
body.
that.
The
At
only
some
time
point.
Ronaldo really impressed me though was the game against Tottenham where he scores a hat trick. Other than that, Ronaldo in his season really didn't
I do
impress
agree
me
with
at
that.
all.
I thought that was a game where I was like, okay, like
You know what? Maybe there's something
yeah,
about him.
Yeah, there's something here that just other players just can't have.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but he was doing that. He won us so many last-minute winners in the Champions League as well.
We're talking about an all-time great, like
Yeah.
the unequivocal, like top two players of this generation. So like we are
Yeah.
talking about a great. Like you
Yeah.
would expect that.
No,
but I'm saying
no,
like,
but at that age, though, that's the
oh
thing.
no, bro,
at that
no,
age,
his longevity is amazing.
Yeah,
But I think that
That's
he,
what-
he could have been even better. Or like obviously what he's doing at Saudi is like numbers wise, it's like fine.
Yeah.
But I find it less impressive than someone who can be humble, accept that their role is changing,
No,
and
that's true,
use
yeah.
it to improve a football club that gave him not gave him a career because he's Ronaldo. He would have had
no,
a career
no,
anyway.
no,
they
He would've
gave,
done
but that
yeah,
like,
but they gave it
but
to
that
him.
was that believed in him, that bought into him, and that gave him the platform upon which he
Yeah.
built his career.
no, it's
100%.
I think
true.
I
I
would've-
agree.
you know,
I
that would have
agree.
been a nice sort of full circle
But
moment.
the
And I think
thing-
I think Ten Hag's inability to manage someone with the size of Ronaldo, and maybe no one in the world manages Ronaldo,
No.
but I'm saying Ten Hag is particularly poor.
Yeah. No, but look, I don't think that's necessarily the case either. But I think that Ronaldo had to go because to see Ronaldo in that role would have also been quite diminishing.
I don't think so.
I disagree.
I
I
don't
think,
think so.
it's the opposite. I think it's empowering. It shows
I think
like
it makes you more
No.
happy
it
as a
shows
fan.
look, bro. Like
No.
look at this guy who's achieved so much. Like you can
Is
be in the
giving his
changing room.
all for
You're like,
the
bro, this
club,
guy's
bro.
achieved so much. He's 36 or whatever, 37, however old. Like you know,
Yeah.
he could have been 38, 39, and he's here. He's training. He's there before you. You're 20 years old.
Yeah.
You're gonna let a 39-year-old guy who's achieved everything he's achieved be in the gym before you.
Yeah, but
work harder
that
than
was
you in
gonna
training.
happen regardless.
But that's why he sets that standard of
Yeah.
professionalism.
But
he
If
didn't
there's
love
one
the
thing
club
he is
enough.
a hard
Yeah, but-
worker.
no,
He
but
doesn't
the-
love anything above himself enough.
Yes,
Yeah.
but bro,
Valued
like
his
if
own
he's
ego above
linked with City right before going to Man U, it shows that he doesn't love the club enough to make that sacrifice.
yeah, but he was
Yeah,
never gonna
agreed.
go.
But yeah, let's move on
Yes,
because
sorry.
what did we predict for the Real Madrid
We've been going
game?
for like an hour. 50
Yeah, I
minutes,
just-
and
I
we're
just
not
clocked-
even on the segment.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I said 3-1 to Real Madrid. You said 4-1 to City.
Bro, I was
3-3.
I was with my heart on that one.
Listen, I don't hate it.
Then Atletico Dortmund. This was a bit of a less exciting game, I would say.
Yeah, it was
I mean, it had its fair
fine.
share of
It had
excitement
its-
as
yeah.
well.
It's less of a pop out the screen.
Yeah.
game
I don't think
than-
anybody really watched it.
No,
to
if
be
you
honest.
compare,
Oh, it was definitely out on the
It was
side.
on the side,
Like, it was
yeah.
on the
On the
laptop,
side.
you know. But like,
yeah, I saw Witzel's hair here and
yeah,
there.
Pop by, just float about
Yeah,
every
yeah,
now and
exactly,
then.
exactly.
Yeah,
But I got the prediction correct. That's
yeah,
what I was saying.
You
so.
said 2-1. That was on the dot. I said 2-0.
They're both very good
They're good
predictions.
shouts. They're
Yeah.
good.
I
shouts.
think Atletico Madrid will be disappointed with 2-1, and I think the
Yeah.
tie is alive way more than it should have been.
Very alive, especially
The
going
tie-
to
bro,
Signal
going to-
Iduna.
yeah,
and they were
yeah.
2-0 up
They were
as well.
2-0 up, and like they
Yeah.
had opportunities to make it more than that.
Cruising.
Yeah,
And then
facts.
Binu Gittins came on. I did notice that, and he
Yeah.
played really well. He hit the
Yeah.
byline a couple times. Binu Gittins, I was like, bro, this guy's
Also,
like,
the
Isn't
Hilaire
it
goal is just
Bayern?
nice to see.
Isn't
Like
it
that's,
Bayern
I find that
Gittins?
stuff.
Binu.
Yeah, we'll move past this. Alright.
Alright.
Not trying to call you out, but I had to point it out because the
What
name
did, what did you say it is?
Bayern. Is it not Bayern? It's
No, there's an N in there, bro.
Yeah, but is
yeah,
it
yeah.
B-Y-O-N-E,
no?
No, it's BYNOE.
Okay, I'll admit I'm wrong then.
Yeah. So next is PSG.
Hands up.
Yeah.
Hey, let me put my hand. I'm
Yeah,
taking that
yeah.
one on the chin. That's fine.
PSG Barcelona. I said 2-1 PSG. You
Wow,
said
it's
2-1
gassed.
Barca.
was
I
watching this
must
game
say,
with, Champ.
I heavily overestimated PSG. You were right.
I think you underestimated
Thank you.
Barcelona.
No. I know what Barcelona.
No, I
are.
think I just didn't convince you enough on the clumsiness of
Yeah,
PSG.
no. You did tell me that PSG is clumsy and they're like missing a lot of things.
Tactically, the way they started that game was so weird.
I'm sorry, right?
They
You're
make
playing
some
with two
decisions
centre
that's
backs
like,
that are both
what?
left-footed, both not good experience in the Champions
Yeah.
And
League.
Marquinhos on the right.
Marquinhos at right back. I'm sorry, in one of those kinds of
Marquinhos
games.
wasn't hitting the spot, bro. He
Yeah,
wasn't
no,
hitting the
because
spot.
he's- he's out of his-
right back.
Yeah. You're doing
Yeah.
too much with playing my right back, realistically.
Bro, I
He's done
thought
it
they
before
were
in his
really-
career,
Yeah,
but
of
he's
course, but you play bro,
returned
he's your
from
best
injury.
centre-back, he's
Like,
your
you need to
leader.
play him in his position, bro.
Yeah, but I think like also like they were playing a lot through through Dembele, and no one was trying to get the ball to Mbappe, which is like, if you're trying to win this game,
I also think
give it to Mbappe.
I think tactically, I think they mess up putting Mbappe on the left. I think you have to play Mbappe off the right. If I was like
Mbappe off
Enrique,
the right is absurd.
I understand, but let me explain.
Let me land.
Bro,
I don't want to let you land. Like, I'm saying no at
Barcelona's right back and right centre back are probably the two best defenders in the team, in Jules Koundé and Araujo.
Yeah.
On our left, you have Cancelo and Cubarsí. Cubarsí played well.
Yeah.
He's not a killer in one-on-ones the way Araujo is.
True.
I think Mbappe, in like the space that Cancelo leaves, I'm not telling you like start harshly from the right. Maybe like, you know, just but in the right half
central,
spaces,
maybe.
a bit more central, that he can drift out right into the half spaces. I think if you get him in a little bit of space against Cancelo, anytime he's isolated against Cancelo or Cubarsí, I take him. Anytime he's isolated against Koundé with Araujo giving him like rugdekking,
I do back him still, though.
There's a part of of course you back him because it's Kylian Mbappe. But I mean,
Mbappe
look at how
off
it went.
The right,
I don't think
though, it doesn't make sense, bro. It doesn't make the way he turns. It's just not him, bro.
I know that. Like, I know that he always wants to play on the left. That's what he's going to do because it's Mbappe, and he's going to be like, no, I'm playing off the left. That's where I want to play. I think he would have been more dangerous off the right because I think I think it's just a situation
comes
where like,
unexpected as well.
And also you're popping up in areas where you're going to be able to cause more danger. I genuinely think Araujo is one of the best one-on-one defenders, like maybe in world football right now, in terms of like being able to deal with players like Mbappe. There's few players I would take over Araujo. There's very few.
That's questionable as well.
In a one-on-one,
in one-on-one, okay. In one-on-one, yeah.
One-on-one against Mbappe, there's not that
let me
many
just say,
centre backs that I think will do a better job.
You said you thought the tactical mistake was not putting Mbappe on the right.
No. I think there was a whole bunch of tactical mistakes.
I think the mistake was starting Asensio. Because look,
Barcola should have started.
At halftime, I'm sorry. First of all, Barcola.
He's a ridiculous. What a ridiculous.
Hands down.
What a ridiculous.
You are a phenomenal, right?
He's a phenom, bro. He's a phenom.
But like the thing is, the moment Dembele moved to the left and you had Barcola on the right, I'm sorry, they were so much like
100%.
Bro, they nearly scored 3 goals.
But like, if Mbappe's down the middle, he can also drift off. Like, I don't mind Mbappe down the middle. I think Mbappe on the left is very limiting when it's Koundé and Araujo there. I really do think.
But in the same way, like, Erling Haaland gets pocketed because he has 2 people. He like, you talk about it, and it's like, okay, well, if Mbappe's on the if the ball's on the right, if the ball's on the right and Mbappe's on the left, you don't have just one person on Mbappe.
No, he had 3 people.
You have people with the eyes in the back of their head at all times wondering where that guy is because you can't let him free. So you need to play Mbappe in his own position and realize that it's the other players that need to change for him. In that situation.
Yes. But I think you can't also be like, oh, well, Mbappe's just going to get double, triple coverage. So we'll just now, like, expect to win because of players like Barcola and Dembele using the space. Like, that's how when they were dangerous, that's how they did it.
Yeah.
But I think to be able to beat Barcelona, Mbappe's going to have more influence than he had in the first leg.
100%.
100%.
That's what they
And I
lack.
think a shift in position, or if it's like central, I would probably start him
central,
centrally and then allow him to move.
Yeah.
Allow him to just float around, bro.
Yeah, I
like,
think that's the best.
He needs to pick his spots, and I think one of the places he's going to be able to do that is on our left side, which is like the Cubarsí Cancelo. Like, that is weaker.
He'll be able to spot that, though.
Yeah.
Exactly. But if you start him on the left, he can't make all that. He's not going to come all that way in.
No, that's facts.
Sure. No, I do. Yeah, I just think the team not necessarily let him down in the sense that they weren't like trying to play through him. I think he was like tripled up upon at one point.
He was well managed.
No, he had Christensen, Koundé and Araujo, all 3 just a triangle around the guy. I understand that it's hard to get the ball to him, but you've kind of got to force it if you're trying to win this game.
100%.
Because he's literally going to win you this. If anyone's winning you this game, it's not Dembele, I'm sorry. Mbappe's going
to win. Dembele has 2 goals in all competitions.
To be fair, they did. I feel like they did try to play through Mbappe. Like, there was definitely like that. They make an effort to do that every time they play football. But I think
it was lacking. It was really lacking in my opinion. Like, every time attack,
maybe it's that for a reason.
But you're not getting into him in dangerous positions.
Maybe you saw that they didn't give the ball to him for a specific reason because he was so marked.
And he's also
but I think you should just force it anyway.
No, but here's the thing. But it's also he's a different type of player than for example Messi. Obviously, everyone's a different type of player than Messi. But he's even a different type of player to someone who's more creative. In terms of Mbappe's devastating. He's devastating. But he's also not someone who's necessarily going to like pick out a pass or like see a pocket of space that's going to open up or like he's more like when you miss him for a second,
and then
he'll kill
you. He's gone.
You lapse of concentration for a second, then he'll kill you. But you kind of want him almost like a cheetah that's like lying in wait. You don't want him to be like constantly
on the ball,
involved all the time.
No,
I'd want him more as like
appreciate
as
his moments of brilliance.
As a killer on the like on the last.
I understand, but in the attack, they were always on the right.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah,
because that's where the space was.
I do get it because the space was there,
and the players
try and force it a little bit. I don't know. They just didn't get him in the game enough to.
I think you just need to hand more props to Barcelona as well. I think the way we tactically set it up was perfect.
They set it up nicely.
Xavi got the better evolution, really.
Poof. By far.
Yeah. I think they set it up nicely.
Also, I think Leo had a very good game. I think
he was very
his
good,
dominance. I'm sorry, right? He bullied the centre backs, and that's not something Leo does often. Leo doesn't play the play the ball into me and I'll head it on very often, or like the let me receive it, turn and play. He doesn't do that because he loses the physical duels very often. He got the better of Beraldo and Lucas Hernandez.
There's this thing that happens with elite athletes, people that have been at the top of the game when they've reached a certain level of their careers, is that they're not going to have it every single week.
Yeah.
And like Lewandowski used to have it every week. Like he would boss whoever you put a centre back every week. He's not going to do that anymore. Yeah. Like we've suffered with him. We've suffered a couple of Lewandowski performances that like we were like, bro,
you're not up to speed.
Get this donkey out my club immediately.
Yeah.
But what he shows is that when he has to pick his spots, when he has to choose a moment, he still has that gear that he can turn to that other people can't get up to. He's got a level that you can unlock. I mean, we see it with like LeBron James, for example, this season for the Lakers. I don't know how much you follow basketball, but I know that Nick, you're interested. He's not doing it every game. Yeah. But like he's doing it in games where they're like, hey, we're down now. It's
take
the
over
fourth.
For us, please.
Like, you're not going to do it the whole game, but like pick your spots. And suddenly when you can see that when he gets up to it, it's a level that other people can't reach. Yeah. And that's what Lewandowski has. And that's what he showed on last week, you know, and that's what I think he can continue to show. If Barcelona have a future in this Champions League, it's going to be because Lewa has managed to reach that gear at least once or twice per game. Yeah. Which is like, I'm still have the capacity to be a top striker.
Yeah, it is still
that's
Lewa.
True. It's Lewa at the end of the day. But also, I'm just saying, like, the way the wingers were set up for him was also just ideal. Rafinha off the left is ideal for Lewa, and Lamine Yamal, I mean, I think nobody can take his spot in that starting 11.
It's ridiculous.
And Rafinha at left wing, listen, I've been saying it for a long time, particularly to play even at left back, but just his left foot, he's so left-footed that I just think you need to isolate him on the left wing, especially against a centre back that doesn't really know what he's doing anymore. Like, I don't know. I mean, Rafinha had a phenomenal game.
Rafinha was incredible.
Yeah. Also, Pedri assist.
By the way, I do need to say, my Rafinha stock has never been higher. You can say, like, Nicholas, you can vouch for me when he said, when we were down with Rafinha, like, Rafinha had a couple of moments we were down. I was so heavily invested in him, and, like, it has pulled through for me in this quarterfinal. Like, we are up. Like, right now, my financial position is chilling, and it's all because of Rafinha. Like, my Rafinha stock has gone up incredibly well.
Listen, you backed him when he was at right wing, and when he's at right wing, he pulls off, like, 6 out of 10 performances at best.
I just knew that there was a player there. We talked about moving him central, maybe as like a number 10. I think
at 10 he's very nice.
Left wing has been kind of similar, like a similar-ish vibe.
It's the way that Cancelo drifts out wide and he fills in the half space.
Yeah. It's so useful.
Let's move on.
Let's do the predictions for next week. Right. So for next week, first game that we're going to predict is Barcelona PSG.
Would you like to go first?
I'll start off. I've said 2-2. I think PSG are going to... Because you guys are going to have a 1-0 cushion going into the game. So you're going to start off a little complacent. PSG is going to come out like... I think
they're going to try and hit us quick.
Try and hit you guys
quick. And I think they will hit us quick.
I think they'll go a goal up. And then like...
It'll be the same as like the second half when they came out firing. And when they come out firing, they are still just like imposing, you know?
Still, they've still got dangerous players.
Like if they play the front three of like Dembele, Barcola, Mbappe, which they should, it's like... pace. I mean, I personally think they should. It's pace that kills at every single position. Every single one of them. If you leave them 1-on-1 is dangerous. And
ridiculous.
At some point, if there's 3 of them, one of them's going to be left 1-on-1.
No. We need to hope that in the first 15 minutes they miss a sitter. That's how I see us putting through the game.
Misses
However, they're scoring. I can see them scoring too as well.
No, I can see them going ahead early, and then throughout the game, there's going to be back and forth goals, and it ends 2-2.
I go for 3-2. I think for Barcelona, because I think it's going to be 2-2 and they're going to be pushing, right? And in the 76th minute, it's just going to be one of them situations where you score the goal that just like finishes it, you know? Like the moment PSG go 2 goals, okay, maybe not 76th minute, maybe like 82nd minute, but one of those goals that just like kills it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to kill the game. I don't think it's going to be tight till the end. I think it's going to be killed.
It's possible. I mean, with this PSG side,
you never really know, to be honest.
It's very doable though. This PSG side is fucking.
Yeah.
I think it might be 2-1 for Barca.
Yeah. I back it.
It's either a 1-1 or a 2-1. I don't think it's going to be super high scoring. I think Xavi's going to try and just slow the game down as possible and just try and like.
But that might be our downfall.
I
think we need to go out pushing as well. Genuinely, I think we need to go out attacking.
One goal's never enough.
I could see Barca.
I don't want to see a 4-man midfield. I want to see 3 attackers. I want to see what has worked for the past 8 games, which is playing an actual left wing at left wing, not a centre mid at left wing. I don't want to see Pedri at left wing. I don't want to see him start that game. And that's hand on heart. I've said it before, right? I'll take 160 mil for Pedri, right? Yeah. But
ain't nobody paying that.
I think that's.
There's a lot of teams willing to pay.
I think Pedri, because Pedri, but he's a game breaker. He's a midfielder that's like when you have him, he has attributes and almost no other in the midfielder in the world.
It is nice,
like KDB-esque creation.
And
that's unique.
You're
that's
gonna
like
miss him half a season.
Fine, but people used to think that also about like other like players that like people used to say that about Messi towards the beginning. That's like, oh, like
was he injured?
He's injured. Well, he had consistent moments where there was like he's got injuries here, he's got injuries here, he's got injuries here.
Yeah, but Messi was not.
No, but he was never like obviously he was never the way Pedri is now.
No.
But I'm saying that like players can transition out of that if they, you know.
A lot of the time, if a player's injury prone, he's like it doesn't.
I still think a team's willing to pay 120 mil for him.
Yeah, like Chelsea maybe. That's the only team, or Chelsea or Saudi. No, no chance.
City would be down to splash.
City would never pay that much for an injury-prone player. Never. City are very
Pep Guardiola would
that.
do to Pedri.
Bro, he would take. He would be, bro. If you get rid of KDB, they're throwing the money on the table for him. If KDB ends up leaving this summer,
no, but they don't buy injury-prone players. Like that's a policy. Like they don't do that, bro.
Erling Haaland.
Erling Haaland is not in that.
Wow, that's outrageous for you guys. What? He had 2 seasons at Dortmund in which he missed like everything. I'm sorry, he missed so many, especially towards his last season at Dortmund. Yes, he played maybe 1/5 of the games.
Okay, really but I don't think he's not super injury prone.
He's not insanely injury prone, and he's also
before he came. First of all, he is still injury prone there. Let me just say,
you know how much Haaland costed as well, or
75 mil?
No, 40.
Haaland didn't cost. For City,
yeah,
City paid 70 mil for him. No?
40.
I think it was, but no, I think it was. It ended up being more than that because like with
40.
bonuses. Right?
Oh no, his release clause on his initial contract was 75 mil.
No, they paid 40. They paid 40.
60? It was like 40 brackets 60. Like I think it went out.
No, it was 40.
Just straight 40.
40.
That's a robbery.
Yeah, it was a fucking robbery, bro.
I thought it was more than that. That's outrageous.
No, it was 40. Bro.
Yeah, let's move on.
Next game, Dortmund Atletico. I think, like you mentioned it earlier, going 2-1 to the Signal Iduna Park is a fucking tough task. And I think Dortmund will win 2-1.
Is it though? Like PSV didn't have that much of a struggle away at Dortmund. And I think Dortmund are a very mediocre team this year.
But I think PSV beat Atletico.
No way.
Feyenoord should have beat Atletico.
Bro, PSV in the knockouts in
this season played against Atletico and were by far the better team.
When did they
play? By far in the group stage. I watched the game. Feyenoord had triple the XG of in the Atletico stadium as well. By far they were better, and then they just got unlucky with chances, not scoring chances. I think PSV could beat Atletico. I think PSV I think it's going to be a tough game.
I think you're underestimating Atletico.
I think Atletico will win on penalties.
I think it's going to be 1-1.
Oh, that's like I was about to say 1-1.
It just makes sense. It just makes sense. However, I would even be willing to say 2-1 Atletico.
No, I can't see that.
I think
there's a chance.
You know
There's
what?
definitely a chance.
I'm going 2-1 Atletico.
Okay, then. All right. Next, we've got
Fuck it.
Bayern Arsenal.
Bayern Arsenal. Oh. See, this one I want to bet with my heart. This one's a 5-1 that I want to go for.
No.
Like, this one's like a 4-1. Bro, what? Arsenal's heads are dropped, bro.
I
Do you
think I need to change my prediction just because Leverkusen just won the league.
Yeah, Bayern.
That's
needs to
gonna
go.
be a fire in their belly. That's
Bro.
gonna be a big fire in
And
their belly.
with
It's Champions League
Arsenal,
or bust.
Yeah.
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 Well, that's all they have. That's
Yeah,
all they
yeah,
have
yeah.
to play for.
You know,
To be fair, after today, same for Arsenal.
No,
dog.
That's true. That's
oh,
true.
That's gonna be a
But
good
Arsenal's
game.
heads have dropped.
I'm gassed
Like,
to watch that game.
Yeah.
Arsenal players are heading home right now thinking, fuck me, we've just screwed it up.
And then thinking, fuck me, I gotta play fucking Bayern Munich.
And I think half of the players might go there thinking, you know what, we're playing Bayern Munich. But I think the other half, like the inner Arsenal half, is going to be like, oh,
They're gonna be
no
scared.
way.
No,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
they're gonna be scared.
4-1.
They were scared at home.
4-1.
They're gonna be scared away.
I agree, but I don't think it will be as dramatic. I don't think this is the type of Bayern team that
No,
puts
no,
four
no.
past this Arsenal
Me
team.
neither.
But just record it. We'll just keep on
Of course,
recording.
of
and
course,
we'll chop it up
of
later.
Of course. Drop it 2 days later or something.
Yeah, chill.
Right. For Bayern Arsenal, I've gone with 2-1 to Bayern. 2-1 to Bayern. Initially, I was saying 1-1 Arsenal on penalties because they won on penalties against Porto.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I
Yeah.
genuinely
Away
I
at
don't
the
hate it. I don't hate
Allianz.
it. I don't hate
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I don't hate it.
But now,
I don't hate it at all.
No,
I quite like I quite like the shout.
Purely
bro.
because of how they sat back against City,
Oh,
I
bro,
guess.
I want you to know they're playing as if they're Luton. Like they are playing like Arsenal are going there and they're gonna try do also all this rest
the
defense
break.
stuff.
Yeah,
Like they're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be like, okay, even when we have the ball, our focus is still defensive solidity,
Yeah.
especially for the first like 65 minutes.
But sometimes deviating from your like just general game plan, like just switching your game plan completely for a game, it's so risky to the point where like
It's
if
needed, though.
Arsenal try and sit back, they might just fumble it. And I understand it worked against City, right? But I don't know, there's a different level to it when it comes to Champions League.
No, I think it's not the idea that's the problem. Again, I have to keep mentioning it. It's they lack the composure, the stage. They can't handle it. They can't at home against Bayern. If that was a Premier League game, right, hypothetically, obviously Bayern can't play in the Prem. I think Arsenal win 3-0. But just because Champions League quarterfinal, and then there's the big cloud of the 10-2 over the stadium as well. I mean, it's in everyone's minds, you
Like
know.
72-1 on like aggregate.
I
for
think
the past
Arsenal are
5
going to beat
years.
them 2-0.
No. I don't. They don't have it in them.
I think Arsenal are going to beat them 2-0.
It's the mental. It's the thing. The tactics. Everything. They're better than Bayern in everything.
I'm gonna just believe in the superior team.
They are superior.
I'm gonna believe that
definitely
Arsenal is a
superior.
better team, and because of that, I think
You go player for player, they're not a superior team.
No.
I
Maybe
think
not
they're a
every
better
player.
team. Even if they're
So
not
as a
player for
team,
player, I
yeah,
think they're a
as a
better
team,
team.
Guaranteed
And
tactics. better.
either that way, I think player for player, it's like very close.
No, I don't think so.
I think Arsenal's back like two centre back partnership. I rate extremely.
They don't win on
highly.
the fullback area.
Yeah, but that's the
nor
thing is-
goalkeeper. You've already lost
No,
that.
you've lost keeper, of course.
Because Kimmich currently, right, is a right
We'll
back.
call him right back,
And he's better than
yeah,
Dan-
Yeah,
he's
he
better than
takes it
White.
over.
Fine.
Although I don't fancy Kuyer's chances.
Midfield, Arsenal
And
takes all of it.
Musiala, Champions
To be fair,
League,
Musiala.
Champions League,
We'll give Musiala.
Champions League, Thomas Muller.
No.
Champions League,
Yeah.
Thomas Muller. I'd rather have that over.
Yeah, but
Odegaard.
he's not
No,
starting.
definitely, I wouldn't. Not anymore.
He's not starting.
Thomas Muller started games recently.
No, I don't think I wouldn't
Yeah.
take him over Odegaard right now. I think that's
No,
ludicrous.
no chance.
I think it's
I'm
ludicrous.
sorry.
I think it's ludicrous.
I'm sorry,
That's
right?
insane. That's
I'm
insane.
sorry, right? I can see Thomas Muller scoring this game.
Yeah, of course.
I can
Okay, you
see
obviously you
it,
can
but
see
off the
him
bench,
scoring.
though, off the
I can,
bench.
bro.
Not
the
two,
exact
not
one,
two, not
the
two.
exact like they've just scored and he goes, yeah. That one, bro. The amount of times we've seen him, bro. The pure passion when he goes like that in front of the Bayern fans, that's gonna spark the next 5 goals. I change it 5-1.
Write
I'm
down if it's 2-0. If it's 2-0 Arsenal, I get a little shout out.
Zwenki.
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, shout out.
you'll get a shout out for
We'll
sure.
give you the shout out instead.
For sure. Okay. Next we've got City against Real Madrid.
I think I just saw on what was on your phone.
I'm dreading this one.
But what did you predict? 'Cause what I just saw on your phone says
Are
something.
you predicting a 3-0 City?
No.
No, the other way around.
No.
Is that not what it said on your phone?
No.
Oh, I thought I read 3-0 for Real Madrid. I was like, wow.
I've been dreading this one.
Oh,
I said from the start. I said from the start that this game is the Champions League final. It is.
It's not though.
It is the Champions League final. I said it as soon as the draw was made. I was like, whoever wins that tie wins the Champions League, and I just don't see how Real Madrid.
Go on, give us your prediction. Are Manchester City winning that game?
Yeah, it's gonna be 3-1 City.
3-1.
Yeah.
For bonus points, goals from.
I think KDB will get one. Foden will get one, and I feel like Julian Alvarez is just gonna come
Haaland
off
penalty
the bench.
though.
I love that.
Haaland won't be able
Haaland's
to.
getting pocketed.
No,
Haaland penalty.
I think Julian Alvarez will come on later
Might get a
on.
penalty.
No, I don't think so. I don't think Real Madrid are clumsy like that at the back.
No, they definitely.
No, but
They have a couple. Like Tony Kroos has a stupid challenge in him.
yeah, but I don't see a penalty in that game.
I can see Real Madrid being very clumsy that game. Like you guys saw COVID year when City played against Real Madrid, when Real Madrid were playing in the pink kit. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah, 4-1 Varane, I remember.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like even the players that you'd expect to be like on it,
Composed.
I just can't see them. Yeah, for me that was lovely. Like I loved watching that game, but I can just see it happening again. However, not being punished that much, I'm saying 2-0 to City.
2-0. Okay. Which brings us to the El Clasico.
Although I think Madrid will score.
The El Clasico is our last prediction here.
4-0 to Barcelona.
At the stadium.
We've seen it done before. I'm sorry, if Oba can put 2 goals past Real Madrid, Lewa can as well.
Right. I think Barcelona's gonna.
I'm here for it.
Barcelona's gonna be like fresh through on the Champions League. Real Madrid are just gonna have been knocked out by City. And Real Madrid's playing at home. They're gonna want to just wrap up the league that day there and then. They win 2-0.
Look, if Barcelona win that game, we're back in it. Although there's like 4 or 5 games left after that, we're still back in it, right?
Yeah, but I think Real
You're
Madrid
at
just
least
wrap
putting
it
in
You win
enough
it,
pressure.
then
that
it's 5
like
points
in-
difference.
makes
Because there's an
more
8-point
sense.
difference right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's yeah. I could also see it being like a 1-1, like Real
Yeah.
Madrid accept the draw and are like very pleased with that.
Bro.
You know?
Yeah.
A draw for Real Madrid wins
It
them the league as
title.
well.
So
Yeah.
I could very well see it ending like a 1-1, 2-2, or like something like that.
It's possible.
Where Real Madrid have Barca have scored, Real Madrid have scored, and then they kind of like Barca attack, but Real Madrid are just solid enough defensively.
I think if Barcelona reach semis and second place in the league, although there's no trophies in our cabinet this
It's a
season,
fairly
I
successful
think it's
season.
a successful season. Purely because of what it's meant. So like this season was meant to be a total disaster.
there's a reason that they're rebuilding the Camp Nou now, and that's because they see a future 3-4 years from now in which you're again amongst the top teams in Europe, and this season we're not expected to be that.
No.
I think this season you're expecting it. Like when for example, like if Pau Cuarsi doesn't randomly become one of Spain's best centre backs at
all of a
17,
sudden,
and Lamine Yamal at 16 years
Yeah.
old is like a
Yeah.
top 3 right winger in the
Yeah.
world.
It's true, it's
Like
true,
if you don't have these anomalies, this is a very poor Barca season.
No, for
But
sure.
the fact is, like, there was no expectations coming into the season. We were meant to rebuild, and it's meant to be a long-term project. I think you're already overachieving given the Champions League, and you have the potential to massively overachieve because you've been given a possible draw.
Yeah.
Like
a very, very,
a very friendly draw, the friendliest of draws.
We've been given
If you'd
literally
have
every
nitpicked
single batch.
if you'd have nitpicked 3 other teams to be in your side of the bracket, those are the teams you would have picked.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Literally not a single difference.
Yeah, not yeah.
So like,
Rather face Dortmund
you've been given
first,
that. Sure, but like in the grand scheme of things, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
And so I think that because of that, there is a chance that like it ends being 1-1, and that like Barcelona are like, hey, we've secured top 4, we're not going to finish for the title, and now we go full out for Champions League, and there's a certain understanding of and like an acceptance of that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
That's why I think that there's a chance that Real Madrid, and I could see that where the Barca are like, this isn't our priority right now, and our squad is thin enough that it's like, let's really focus on one thing, you know.
Look,
I agree with that.
Like, there's no expectations off of this game.
Zero.
We're good. Like, genuinely, Okay, obviously, if we lose in the Champions League, there's expectations for that
Yeah,
game.
then it changes
for us to
everything.
come back.
It does change everything.
It changes
But
everything.
if we win in the Champions League, you go to Real Madrid with a positive mindset and you go there for vibes.
And you go there with a hey, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
You go there with a hey, F it. Maybe we can
And
we can win. Maybe we can do it.
Sometimes that's
but
when you
go-
find the best Barca.
that,
Like,
yeah, in general,
not
that's
overthinking
probably-
it,
yeah.
not overstressing it. Let's
What-
just go out there and play some football.
Yeah,
And let's
exactly.
try and enjoy this game. And
Like-
suddenly it's like, oh, ticky, knocking
Yeah,
about.
exactly.
They're just like trying to enjoy the game.
100%.
And suddenly it's like, oh, we're actually winning here. We can do it. And then
Yeah.
you believe it.
Yeah.
You can build on that.
Yeah.
But it could also go the other way where it's like, you're like, hey, let's just chill. You concede an early Vinny goal, and suddenly it's like, hey, well, this match doesn't matter as much. Like 56th minute, Xavi's taken off like Gundo because he's like, hey, let's like try and keep him fresh for Champo. Shit like
that's,
that, you
that's
know?
understandable.
Like that could also happen.
Yeah.
because Gundogan's played every single minute
But he
this
has
season,
to,
bro.
yeah,
He
but
plays
has to.
too
He's
much.
unbelievable. So that's why.
Yeah, I
like,
know,
I
but
could
next
see him
season I
nailing
can
it,
see him
you
being
know?
injured all season. It's a possibility, but that's when we sign Bernardo to do what he's doing right now.
No, but you were.
It's so here for a Bernardo Silva.
But he's coming.
I can
yeah,
see
but it's
it.
a
Like, he
question
is
of can
coming.
you come when you're still among like
Yes,
the elite,
his release
and can
clause
you
is
not
50
come?
mil.
Yeah, but can you come like exactly? But it would have to be this summer because I think if you wait another
is-
season, it's
yeah.
a bit
It's
too late to sign
yeah.
him.
100%.
Like it has to be this summer,
But
or just don't do it.
the
And
way
that's-
Joao Felix has spoken about it, it's as if he's even saying like, "Bro, don't sign me, sign Bernardo, bro." That's how I feel like he's talking, because that's how convinced he is that
It's a good- it's a good
that
business
Bernardo's
decision.
going
But
there.
he's also a 24-year-old lad.
Who?
yeah,
Joao
Yeah.
Felix.
I would say
Yeah.
Joao
Yeah, but
for
bro-
because also age. Like you could have Joao for like almost a decade. You know?
Yeah,
or
I
at least
know.
half a decade of like elite.
But I still think we're gonna sign Joao Felix on loan again, and then
I'm very happy with that as well.
I'll take another
Bro,
loan season and
just
see how it goes.
Keep
That makes the
pushing
most sense.
forward
Yeah.
the amount you have to pay.
Yeah,
If you're Barcelona,
because the more
like,
you wait, the more the price goes down.
and
you
also
know?
the more inflation, like 50 million now is like worth
Yeah.
more than 50 million in 3 seasons. So like if
Exactly.
we just keep on with also the way the market keeps rising, if you
Yeah.
just keep pushing back the loan with an obligation or an
Yeah.
option to buy, just like keep
Yeah.
doing it, and hopefully it becomes affordable at some
and his
point.
watch his contract slowly
Yeah,
run down.
exactly,
It's,
exactly.
Yeah.
it's gonna get to this stage.
Like
where
his
it's like-
value deteriorates a wee bit because the contract is like less fresh, like for sure.
But you were mentioning that you guys are trying to focus on the long term at Barca. I don't think your actions say otherwise, because you've pulled a lever, like what, 1 season ago,
Yeah.
2 seasons ago,
Yeah.
which is going to heavily impact your revenue for the coming.
I
10
disagree.
years.
I disagree. I think that's overstated. I think if you actually look
100%.
at the finances of Barca, there is definitely going to be. There's always going to be long-term finances.
Yeah,
of
but
Barca.
no, but if you
Like,
look at your
there was
spending
more just we
limit-
had to get out of what was a deep hole, you know, and so you activate your levers to boost you out rather
yeah,
to
but
get you
that
out in.
hurts you
Of course,
a lot
but it hurts you
long
less
term.
in the long term than it would have been to like stay in the hole for another 3-4
I don't
years.
think
It
and
hurts
have
us
to
less
sell-
in the long term than it does this summer.
and it hurts you more like
No, but
it
I
hurts
was
you less in the
talking
long term to
2
do
years
something
ago.
like that than having to sell. For example, what if now it was like you need to make like 120 million for the summer,
We're
and
fine.
suddenly
It's not
someone
even
gives
about
like,
that.
hey, I'm giving like PSG coming in is like it's like 300 million for Lamine Yamal, and suddenly like Barca are like we're in this situation of like we need the money, so we're gonna say
No, but I
say
don't
yes.
even think
That'll
it's
hurt your
that.
future more than activating a lever
No, but I
that
don't
gives
no,
some
no,
future finances.
Yeah, to some extent, yes. But if you look at your spending limit versus Real Madrid's spending limit, they've got, I think, 700 million, and Barca's at like 150.
That's because the Spanish FA is.
No, that's because
Literally Madrid
It's
is
because it's
no,
run
no.
by Madrid
It's
fans.
because you pulled the lever. It's because you pulled the
Not,
lever. That
It was
heavily
like that. It was
takes
like
away.
that, but it was like that before as well.
No, but no. Yeah,
we had
okay,
a,
maybe
we had
to
a
some
lower
extent.
we had a lower cap, like
Yeah, a lower
the
cap,
whole
but you
time.
pulling the lever lowers the cap a lot more.
temporarily
Yeah, but
raised
you
it.
guys pulled the lever for what? To sign Leo on 50 instead of signing Leo on 50.
You signed the lever, and now you're in a Champions League semi-final or quarter.
Yeah,
Ooh.
but
Won the-
you might
won-
be in the Champions.
won
You
the
won
league
a,
in
you
your
won a
first
league-
year,
Yeah,
and
but
you
then-
won a
you
league,
gotta
and now
take-
you're in a Champions League quarterfinal with a potential to
Yeah,
go all the way to a final. Like you have
And
to.
you're second in
and-
the
Or
league.
you
Yeah.
just firm 2 more years of Mingueza.
Yeah, but you don't know that it's going to be 2 years. That's the thing.
You just
Oof.
firm
But
2 more
you
years.
don't
He's
know,
gone,
you
he's
don't
off our
know that
books
it's going to be.
already.
You don't know that it's going to be 2 years, and that in 2 years from now you might also have to pull a
Yeah,
lever.
you don't want
You
to.
don't, like-
You don't want to wait, bro.
like
you
there's
don't.
there's a certain extent to which like
Yeah, but pulling the lever, you also really
Barcelona
don't wanna pull
can't
that one either.
afford. Yeah, but we can't afford to not pull the lever as well. That's how you gotta see it as well. We
Why
need
not?
because like it wasn't. We didn't pull the lever to sign Lewa. We pulled the lever, right?
To sign
First-
Lewa,
No,
Gundogan,
because
and
our,
be a
team,
competent football
our
team.
team's like
Yeah,
wage bill was exceeded the limit by like wouldn't dare to say, but even like potentially 200 million. Like,
No,
our-
like, I remember it being like absurdly.
it was
over.
like something that I couldn't even imagine. Like you can remove like 3 of our biggest players
Yeah.
and still
Yeah.
you wouldn't like even get close. So you pull that because it's like, okay, you need to
Yeah, but-
fit these players in the squad.
Or you don't pull it, and you just firm 2 or 3 years
That's
of
not
just
Barca though.
horrible football to then potentially reach.
But
and
the
then
thing
just
is,
play the youngsters.
but there's no guarantee that I do understand what you mean. Like now, given the success of the youngsters, given the success of like you could build a team that's around sort of lots of these like La Masia talents and basically
Yeah.
have close to our
No,
strongest
and then sign
11.
not just that. Sign your Joselus for 1.2.
But bro,
sign your
okay,
free
what did we
agent.
what did we
Yes,
what
but
did we
it's- but
spend
it's-
last summer?
I don't know, but I remember you
Not
buying
much.
Lewa for 50.
Nothing. That was 2 summers ago. Last summer we spent
Yeah,
nothing.
but 2 summers ago was
Zero.
when the lever was pulled.
Yeah,
That's
and
why it was pulled to be able
no,
to
because
sign
now we're
Lewa
just
for
bro, we're
50.
doing as like we pulled the lever to get rid of a tiny like problem that summer, just as that like we've realized Barca
Short-term
finances.
gain
Listen, I was also
for long-term pain.
But
It's not,
I also think that we often assume like a best case scenario in the future. We sort
Yes,
of
in hindsight,
we
in
over
hindsight.
idealize what we
Yes.
might be in the long term because we see like the potential. We don't see how the floor could be. So if you're like,
Yeah.
okay, let's wait 3 years. We're not going to activate this lever, and we're going to accept that we're going to be awful for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
You first of all like. It's very hard as Barcelona. Like you're not like a small club that's just like we'll accept mediocrity.
course
Like
not.
it's very hard as Barcelona and Real Madrid are out here winning Champions Leagues to like be like to explain to your fans also the people that vote for you to be
Yeah,
president
no,
and
no,
everything
for
like the
sure.
socios to be like basically you're gonna have to accept being bad for 2 years, 2-3 years. It's part of a project. They're
Yeah.
gonna be like. We're Barcelona. Like
No,
you
I
need
do-
to beat
I
out a
get
competent
that,
11.
yeah. I
And
get
that's
that
correct as well.
aspect of
Like
it.
we are Barcelona. We can't like
And it won you the league, and now you're in a Champions League quarterfinal, and I don't think
Yeah,
you
but
can be
you're
that
gonna
upset with
feel
that
it.
outcome.
You're gonna feel this lever in 5 years still.
I don't think so.
You are.
I disagree.
Look at your cap.
I disagree.
Look at your cap and look Real Madrid's cap. You're gonna feel that in 5 years still.
Yeah, but I also think the
Just
Spanish.
for
I
one
also
year.
think
You
these
can't
rules.
compare us to
I
Real
also
Madrid,
think.
bro.
I also think you know what's crazy. I think there's a chance that like in 5 years, something like Super League comes up, or these all things that could happen that could
will.
totally
It will
alter
come
the
up.
financial situation of the
Yeah,
club.
but
And like you no longer have to fit into the
That's
Spanish
that's-
FA
yeah.
regulations. So I think that
Yeah.
Barcelona are also a little bit gambling on like. Yeah, the cap's
We need
bad,
we need
but,
the
like,
Super
Yeah.
League.
There's a
Yeah.
chance that the Super League could
if you're
totally
banking on
alter
that, then it makes more sense. But without that external factor, I think it's
or
a
or
super
or the
risky
Spanish
move.
FA realize that they're actually sacrificing their own league. Like the
Yeah,
quality of
they
their league
are.
is decreasing and the
For
quality of
sure.
the Premier League is increasing because they can spend as much as they want.
Yeah.
Basically.
But we've
Yeah.
ignored
With
like
some FFP and like Spanish FA.
bro,
like,
Spanish
they could
FA
change
have
those
already
rules.
they've acknowledged the fact that like they can't keep up with it because of their own rules, and it's weird
Yeah,
because the
exactly.
people in charge also acknowledge it, just don't want to do anything about it.
Yeah.
And that's just the way the league is run. So I don't think it's gonna come down to Barcelona as it like bro.
No, but
look,
Barcelona has the influence that
No,
some
for
of those
sure.
changes could end up being made, and suddenly then the activation of the lever
No, no,
feels
yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's less
Yeah.
significant. Like I
Yeah.
think that they
No,
are
like those-
gambling
yeah,
on some
yeah.
of these changes happening. Because I think otherwise you're right. There is a certain extent that you'll feel it, but I think they're
regardless,
gambling on
like,
some of those
yeah,
changes.
if you're gambling on that, it makes a bit more sense. You're mitigating the risk, but without those external factors, it's a super, super, super risky move in my opinion.
gotta do what you gotta do to save the club.
Yeah, but you like that's the thing. You haven't really like you've sacrificed long-term spending for a short-term one season, which is just.
but it's
very
not
risky.
been one
It's not.
season,
It's
and
not
it's
done.
not been one season, and it's allowed you to
Yeah, but
build
you
a
can't
club
now
that also
you can't
sets
now
standards.
claim this season as well because of you got a nice.
We're
little
not claiming the
draw.
season because it's not
No,
done
but you're
yet.
not claiming the season. But I do think like. Listen, first of all, you beat what's in front of you, so the draw, like
No,
you have
I
to be-
understand.
you have to be in
You
a
can't do
position,
anything about
You have to
it.
be in a position to
Yes.
capitalize on getting
No,
a good
for
draw.
sure, for
if
sure.
we don't activate that lever, you can give us the best draw in the world. We're holding 3 to PSG, and then we're calling it a day.
Yeah.
No,
Because you
no,
don't
no,
have an
no, that's
infrastructure,
true,
you don't
that's
have a
true,
club.
That's true.
But like with that,
Or you get drawn to City in the round of 16, and
of course,
what
but
are
of
we
course,
talking about?
But you make your own luck in terms of like
No,
we
that's
put our
true.
club in a
That's
position
true.
where
That's
if we
true.
get the right draw, we
Yeah.
can be there competing.
No, that's fair
and
enough.
are.
Yeah, exactly.
fair
So
enough.
I think that's why it justifies it, and that's why it makes sense. Like sometimes you need to have luck, but sometimes you need to be in a position to make that work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just look. I understand like this season you've got very lucky with the fact that you can easily reach a Champions League final. I think this is probably one of the easiest paths to a Champions League final I've seen in recent memory that I can think of. The Chelsea one is the closest one. but
Chelsea one's up there.
Yeah, but they face Real Madrid in the semis, so it's
This-
like I literally.
it is really. I can't.
It's probably one of
struggle.
the simplest.
None of them hop to mind in terms of that have been like this
this
straightforward.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's a
Okay,
fucking blessing.
You look at Barcelona, right? Okay, obviously, other than our Champions League group stage, which was ridiculously easy, right? We faced, what was it, Porto, who took it to penalties with Arsenal. So that already shows that the difficulty of our group was just like disregarded completely. You face a Napoli team that although they're 8th in the league, right, and they have fallen off, they do still have the element of surprise, and they are still a good team. You face them in the round of
Napoli are
16.
not a good team.
Then you face, in the quarterfinals, the best player in the world at the moment.
The team around him is Southampton.
The team around him, is phenomenal as well.
It's not.
The
It's not
team,
Southampton.
no,
It's
the
not Southampton.
coach is
Ipswich.
phenomenal. You've got Dembele, Gonzalo Ramos, Colomouani, Asensio roaming around. Barcola. Those are your attacking options.
I didn't see any of them play. I only saw
Barcola
Dembele
was
and
unbelievable.
Look, Barcola is good. He's good. But that team.
And then
is
you drop
not-
into
you
a
can't
midfield.
talk about
Fabian's
that
a
team.
phenomenal player.
Yeah,
You
but
have
that team
Vitinha as a
does
phenomenal
not
player.
work, bro.
No, I
That
disagree.
team's
I would
not
argue. I
good.
would argue this PSG team works more than other PSG teams in the past. I think it's more organized.
Yeah,
I
but
think
it's just
Luis Enrique
not
hasn't
good.
taken-
It's not a
It's-
good
It's
team.
still a team
It's
that's
it's
that
a
you
very
look at and
dangerous
you
team.
recognize.
It's a very dangerous
Bro.
team.
You
It's
need
not
to,
a good
bro. You
team.
can't. You're disregarding. Bro. And
It's
first of
not
all,
a good
we face
team.
Atletico in the semifinals. It's not as if that's an easy run.
No,
like
no.
Atletico
Like
are a
that.
Champions League team. That's a
Atletico
difficult
are a team
team.
that should be in the
And
Champions
then
League
you need to win the
semifinals.
Champions League finals as well. Like you're saying,
Yeah,
oh
the
yeah,
finals the
our
only
run.
game where it's like
You're saying our run has
Big.
been easy. We've had a Champions League
It has
group
been
stage
easy.
and a round of 16.
no way you're gonna claim it's not an easy run.
How are you gonna claim it's an easy run when we've just started the run?
No, but regardless of whether you even end the run, if you don't finish this run, you're not gonna get an easier run than this for the next 20 years. This is super.
It's
easy.
not-
I'm
it's-
not
bro,
talking
you're
about
saying it's super
the individual
easy as if
teams
it's-
talking about like they're easy. I'm talking about this is Champions League. It doesn't get any easier than this. It really doesn't. Like you haven't had to face Bayern, Arsenal, City, Real Madrid. You're facing PSG, which is the worst of the whole bunch. I mean, Liverpool's not in it either. Like you've been blessed with a very, very as easy as it gets for Champions League.
No.
Not to say that Atletico,
This is not-
Dortmund, PSG.
I'd rather face
not to say that they're
Dortmund
bad.
and Atletico in
I'm
the
not saying-
quarterfinals. Let me just
I
start.
can't. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't.
okay,
No, I can't
I understand,
lie. I can't
but
lie.
you got them in the
I am with
semis.
Fares on this one in terms of like.
You guys are violating, bro.
It's not. I'm not
You
telling
can't do anything about it.
No,
I'm
I
not
know, I
telling
know,
you, it's
and I'm
not
not
on
saying,
you.
and no,
I'm
and
not
it's,
saying,
it's,
and I'm
bro,
not saying
not
it's like,
saying
I'm
that.
not saying it's an easy I'm not saying Barca should be expected to win the Champions League given this draw,
No,
or Barca
they
should
shouldn't,
be
because
they've
expected
got
to
a
win the
final.
final.
But I'm
Yeah.
not saying
Or Barca
anyone's
should even expected to win the final or be in the final rather.
I
but
do,
I think
I do.
You would
I
hope so.
do
They're probably the
expect them
betting
to be in the final.
favorites.
Yeah.
But what we're saying is like, given the scale of the competition, which is Champions League quarters and semis, it's about as easy as you can hope for. Yes or
yeah.
no? It's as good as you could ever hope Champions
No.
League quarters and semis
No,
to be.
no,
Yes.
no,
Even
no,
though
because
it's
you'd
like-
rather face Dortmund.
Yeah, fine,
Guys,
fine,
guys,
fine,
but
fine,
you
but it's
won't-
minor.
but
but
no,
it's
we
minor.
won't because we first need to make it past a PSG team that has the best player in the world. Don't act like it's the easiest thing. No, the easiest thing is facing Dortmund, right?
Of course, they're minor, like
and then facing an Atletico Madrid team that somehow makes it past PSG, right?
I understand.
That's an easy.
Of
That's
course, of
that's
course.
as easy as
That's-
it gets.
That's ideal. That's ideal.
Facing
But this is
PSG
about. This is about. You're not also.
Yeah,
you
but that's
also can't.
dreamland.
You also can't expect to get
round
every
of 16.
single bit of luck.
You look at round of 16, right? City face what? Fucking RB Leipzig. Copenhagen. I'm sorry, right? You look at every single round of 16 fixture and you look at the Barca one and you think, okay, that was the most difficult of all the round of 16. Every single round of 16 fixture in the Champions League this year was dog shit. other than the Barcelona Napoli one. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm
What are
wrong.
the other ones? Name the other ones first.
None, because they were all stinkers. Everyone spoke about it
you
as
have
if it
to
was a
name
stinker. Okay, PSV Dortmund,
Yeah, that was a
Manchester
shit one.
City Copenhagen,
that's
Arsenal Porto,
I think that one.
Bayern against Lazio. I'm sorry, which of those fixtures is more difficult than Barcelona against Napoli? None. You guys are Round of 16 is meant to be easy. That was already set as a challenge for us,
No,
right?
Inter
Then
Atletico
you
is
face
harder.
the best
No,
player in
no,
the world
Inter
with
Atletico
a
is harder.
Okay, I'll give you that.
100%.
One
It is.
one fixture out of the round of 16 was more
And
difficult.
I think PSG Sociedad also borderline.
No, you're trying to find
No,
something now.
Sociedad is
No, you're
good.
hunting. You're hunting.
They are good,
Thank
though.
you.
You're hunting.
They are
Sociedad is-
100%, but like
You're hunting for something else to make a point.
Sociedad
right?
lost to PSG, right? So we're facing the winners out of that as well,
No,
and
for
you're facing
sure.
the best player in the world.
Yeah, but I'm
And
not
we're
talking
only
about
up till
solely
that-
round of 6. Okay, in the round
But
of 16,
that's we're not
you
further
probably
than
had
that.
One of the
You can't
harder
judge
games.
the run if we're not past
We
the
know what the
quarterfinals.
run is. We know what it is.
No, because you don't even know if we're making it through.
We know what the potential opponents are.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Every single team on the left-hand side with Bayern is better than any team on the right-hand side. Every single one.
Barca's
Every
better than
single-
Arsenal.
No. No.
Hand on heart.
No.
Barca's better than
No,
Arsenal.
they're not.
Barca's better
Every
than Bayern.
team on the right-hand side is better than
afraid I
every
cannot
team on the
accept
left-hand side.
Listen, we'll just move past it. I just want to, like, you guys are calling the Barca run easy, and I just wanted to throw my word in and say you guys are delusional by saying it's easy,
don't
but
think
we'll
it's
move past it.
It's the easiest run I've ever seen.
No, it's not.
Probably not.
Name
to,
an easier
not to
one.
that extent.
Bro.
Name an easier one.
Not to that
Yeah,
extent.
name
You
one
can't,
moment
because it
something's happened.
doesn't
Bro.
Exists. It doesn't exist. Look, I was thinking the Chelsea one, right, for their final, but they faced Real Madrid in the semis.
Yeah,
So it's
and
like, that's harder already.
did Real Madrid have the best player in the world?
No, but it's a better team. It's a much better team than this PSG team.
That's the best team they faced.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Wait.
we're gonna have to face City in the final.
Yeah, but they face City too.
Yeah,
I'm not talking
but
about
they-
the final
but-
itself.
but we're
because
not
the
talking
final
about their
itself
run.
Is peak. The final itself is going to be peak regardless. But I'm talking about the run to the final.
listen. If you look at the fixtures one on one, right, every single time you go through, it's difficult fixtures.
I'm not saying they're easy teams. I'm saying you're talking about the Champions League here. You're not talking about the La Liga. You're
I'm
not talking
worried we
about
may
the Premier
slightly be
League.
going in circles here. So I think we
Okay.
should put a
Yeah,
pin in
okay.
it and
We'll
move on to
past
our next
it.
topic. 'Cause I think we're at. I think we both like. I think there are points that is like. Obviously, there are easier runs.
Agree
and
to
there were,
disagree.
There were a couple of good games, but maybe Fares does have a point in
Agree
that.
to disagree.
We've gotten lucky with the draw.
to an
So,
extent.
like,
Let's
very lucky,
like
but yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Shall we move on then
Yeah.
briefly to the segment because it's getting quite late.
yeah, it
no,
is getting quite.
no,
late.
let-
We've
okay,
been here for
let's-
2 hours.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so we'll put up, this is the end of the podcast, but the Newcastle segment is going to be a
Is
separate
gonna come
video.
out.
It'll come out like
If
2
you're
days
if you're
after.
genuinely if you're still around at like this point, realistically, Dango, it's only you, Dancha, or maybe Rahul. Like send me a
Rahul's
text.
not making it
If
through.
you
bro.
watch all of this, like send me a text because like that's ridiculous love, bro.
yeah,
That's love.
It's-
That's
it
love.
is.
That's love.
if
That's
you
love.
if you watch 2 hours of us sitting here and waffle, genuinely, I appreciate you. I'll come
It's
give you a
love,
hug,
it's
bro.
love,
Like
it's love.
I will come.
Zohaib as
come-
well.
yeah. Zohaib also,
Zohaib.
you might not know him, but
I
like
do not.
Zohaib.
day
I'll
one.
give you a hug as well, darling.
Zohaib, day one. Well, no, we won't forget you, Zohaib.
Okay, so well, I guess we've enjoyed filming this episode. I hope
Yeah.
you guys have watched
Yeah.
and enjoyed this episode thoroughly.
Thank you guys so
Uh,
much for having me on. Man.
yeah,
I had a
of
blast,
course,
bro.
of
I
course,
literally
of
like
course.
you forget you're on here. You just start like
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
but
get into the arguments.
once you
know?
start talking, it's like, is this mic really there?
Yeah.
Sometimes mine wasn't. You hear my audios
Yeah.
all over the place, but
Yeah.
I'll
hopefully
be
I make a
alright.
point that you can hear. You
It'll
know?
be
Yeah,
alright. It'll
for
be
sure.
alright.
But yeah,
yeah.
make sure to check us out on all our socials. Leave a like, subscribe, obviously, all of that
Yeah.
juicy stuff. But
Yes,
we're
yeah.
about to move into Newcastle segment.
segment.
I'll be
So-
back on more often, guys. So you should subscribe for me.
I
if
hope
not.
so. I hope
Yeah,
so. I
for
hope so.
Luca.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
See you soon.
enjoy your life.
Yeah, have a nice life.
Have a nice life.